All right, I see it live now. Let's give it a few extra seconds. All right, yeah, I see it. It's live. Okay. All right, I think we're set. So, let's let people come in. It'll probably take a few minutes, but in the meantime, welcome everyone. This is the Overlevel Podcast, episode 4 on Big Cloud's channel. I know you're asking yourself, who is this, guy talking right now? Usually it's Red Hood talking right now. He's giving us his amazing intros, and he's on top of things with this podcast. But unfortunately, Red Hood has come down with a very serious flu, and to the point where he's now referred to as Flu Hood for the rest of the podcast. So, send his condolences, send your thoughts and prayers to Red Hood. Flu Hood, in this time. And he's with us right now. He's just muted and making sure we're on our best behavior. I know I will be. I can't speak for Pablo. I can speak for myself. So it's been a while. It's been a long time. So I know a lot of things have happened, but we're gonna try to keep it to like the main things that have happened over the past month or so. But man, there's obviously the elephant in the room of the Insomniac leak. So we're gonna talk about GTA 6 trailer, like a little bit of GTA 6 trailer. We're also going to talk about the Game Awards, just recaps of the announcements and our thoughts on the winners, and talk about the best news of the week. Factions getting canceled it is best news of the week, in fact. And we'll finally say the Insomniac topic for last, and then we'll go over our end of year game lists and what we've been this year. So without further ado, let's introduce my co-host Pablo. How you doing tonight, Pablo?
Doing good, man. Today's been pretty crazy, man. Where everything's been going on with all these companies getting leaked and all that. So I'm ready to get into it. Ready to talk about some of the games I beat this year. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's been the year of leaks and layoffs. That's
Yeah.
what this year has been. Not great games. It's been leaks and layoffs. Sending out all our condolences and our thoughts and prayers to these developers in this very tough time of leaks. So, before we I guess we can get started. I guess we can do the games we played at the end when we do our recap. So let's just jump right into the GTA 6 trailer. What did you think, Pablo, when you saw it? And that also was another leak because that got leaked the day before it was supposed to go live. So that went live day before, and what did you think about it? What did you think about it, Pablo? What did you think of GTA 6 and everything about it?
It looked good. It looked as wacky as you would think a GTA trailer would look. I mean, there was a lot of discourse online after it came out. Well, I mean, first of all, it looks beautiful, looks incredible. If that's like what it's gonna look like in game, even if they're just in-game cinematics just look like that, I'd be fine with it. I'm pretty sure like in gameplay graphics will probably look pretty similar, if not, close to the real thing. But there was a lot of discourse online, like people were saying yo, I need to get a PS5 Pro for this because there's a rumor PS5 Pro coming out next year or in the coming year. So people were wondering, is this thing gonna even be able to run at 60 even on that? So it'll be interesting to see like when they reveal the game again, because the game is scheduled to come out in 2025. They showed it in the trailer, but I mean, like I felt like it got announced a little too early. I guess they had to kind of like put their cards out there because it got leaked, before they were initially going to show it. I mean, they were going to show it regardless. They said they were going to show it in December. They did, but I felt like they could have held on to that trailer, for a few months longer. But that's just me. What do you think about it?
Man, my jaw was on the floor. I think there was that one part of the pool scene with those two guys like dabbing it up. I like just how smooth those animations were and just how crisp those faces look. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown. And I'm like, this is on a console, like, and again, people will say Rockstar they're downgrade, but no, Rockstar, they don't downgrade their games.
No.
If you go back to the GTA 5, the first trailer, that you could tell that ran on a PS3. You could 100% tell that game was shimmering, it was blurry, the textures were horrible. So the fact that this is on a console, and I love the fact because there was also a bit of skepticism about Dan Houser leaving Rockstar and if they're gonna have the same satirical element, and we see there's a lot of in-game events that are mimics of real life with the Joker guy, the crocodile in the pool, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see how because we know all the Florida memes too. If you look up your birthday in Florida, man, you'll find some sort of headline from your birthday. That's how crazy it is down there. So This is a game for sure that I will, I'm not thinking no 30 FPS. Like, no, there's no like, I don't care about like what resolution or whatever, because this is like if there's a game that you sacrifice your morals for, it is Grand Theft Auto. Like, absolutely. So I'm
Oh yeah,
just
for
super
sure.
super excited to play GTA 6.
I mean, honestly, regardless, like I had to like kind of think about it for a minute, but I mean, if they drop a PS5 Pro and like they bundle it with this game when it comes out in 2025, I mean, I'm definitely gonna get that console. Like, you want to see all the
Mm-hmm.
bells and whistles, all the extra NPCs on screen and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, if it's not gonna be 60 FPS and they only release on console, it's gonna suck. But I mean, hey, it's GTA, bro. It's gonna be one of the biggest games of all
Yeah.
time. So.
I want to get a PS5 Pro, but I'm only like I have my black plates. I don't want like it not to be compatible anymore. That's like my only step because
Oh
like
yeah.
obviously the Slam is not compatible with the plates. So like, are you telling me like you think there was another like a third slew of variants for the plates? Like they're already really hard to get as it was. So I kind of want to
I,
give up my colors for that.
I mean,
I don't know.
if anything's an indicator, I mean, the PS4 Pro kind of stayed within the same type of design range as the
Mm-hmm.
PS4. It was just kind of like an extra
Just
stack on
double.
top of it.
It was a
Yeah,
double
like
Big Mac.
so. Like, I'm wondering if it's gonna be like a similar thing with the PS5 Pro, just an extra, like I don't know, stack. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see like how they finish the design because you would want your place to be compatible with like a new. You wouldn't want to have to buy like a new set for like a new
Yeah.
console. So yeah, I feel you on that.
But she said like I have all black consoles besides the PS1 already, so like I don't want that to I want to give that up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so is there any? Like I'm trying to think of like any other like take. Do you have any other takeaways from the trailer that you saw?
Um, honestly, no, not really. I mean, it was cool that's one thing that I like about. I think that's what separates GTA from a lot of other games. More games do it nowadays, like like games like Saints Row. Kind of mimic, like games like GTA. But like, I just like the fact that they take like real world events and like kind of apply it to their games and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like well, SNL in the sense that like they
Mm-hmm.
take like what's happening in the world and like they apply it to their skits and stuff like that. Like I like things like that. Don't take yourself seriously, but they always add that like world class technology with the graphics and everything. It's just my thing. My thing that I'm hoping, and I'll leave it with this: like I really do hope that they hone in on the gunplay mechanics for the game because
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I don't know if it was because it was on console and it ran on 30 FPS, but Red Dead, it felt like something was like really missing with like the aiming and like just the animations, everything that went into like um taking cover and like and actually aiming was fine, but it just felt like kind of stiff. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that that doesn't get carried over because I know this is a new iteration of the Rage engine. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that's something they fine tune. That's like one of my mostly requested like features for them to
Mm-hmm.
fix. But everything else, I'm sure it's gonna probably gonna be perfect with the game story wise and everything else.
That's true too. Like I for Red Dead, I honestly feel like the part of the gunplay was like everything was like single shot. Like everything was just like single shot. Like and it wasn't just like a semi-auto, but like it was just like a kind of like a the single shot. You gotta reload, and you gotta just do it every single time like a musket kind of thing. I think that
Yeah,
might have been part of like just the time between shots was just a bit too long because of the time era it was in. Because I feel like GTA 5 was a lot better gameplay wise than every other GTA. Even like even Red Dead 2, I thought GTA
yeah,
5 was a lot smoother than like Red Dead 2. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. I hope, and I also hope like they keep innovating on the mission structure. GTA 5 was much better with that.
oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
because I love GTA 4, is still my favorite GTA game, but man, some of those missions like were kind of rough. Like kind of rough in its design. Just like go here, do this, and that's it. GTA 5 was a lot more innovative with that, and I hope they continue to push that boundary in GTA 6, which I think it will be because it definitely looks like more on the cartoony, whimsical, like customize everything you want kind of approach that they're taking versus like GTA 4 and like those other games. So I'm really excited. I mean, I think it's gonna come out like 2027. I think it'll definitely get delayed at least a year.
what?
At least a year. It'll
Yeah,
get
I
delayed.
think. I mean, if Red Dead was an indicator, like yeah, I think it's gonna at least get delayed one time, especially if it's gonna get delayed, or if they're targeting fall 2025. I just got a feeling that 2026 spring date is probably gonna. I think it's gonna even get pushed past that too.
Yeah,
Like
I think fall. I
up
think
to like
fall
fall
2026.
2026. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, man. Looks incredible. I can't wait to there day one. I'm not I'm not gonna be like, oh, wait for PC. No, that's a cope. And all those PC guys coping on GTA 6. I'm sorry, it is a cope because y'all not getting a day one. You gotta wait like 2 years for GTA 6. All right, like get a console, get over it. It's fine. All right. Like I don't know, I'm just imagining like the whole world talking about GTA 6. You're like, well, I'm just gonna wait for the PC version. Like, bro, come on. Like,
Yeah,
be a part of history. All right, GTA is a historical moment. We won't get another one for maybe 15 years. You know what I mean? It took 10
yeah,
years to get
that's
this
a
one.
fact.
By another 15 years, you gotta be a part of this moment. Like, it's a huge moment in the world. So we should
Yo,
definitely be
look at
part of
all the
it.
people when this got announced. People saw that it was coming out in 2025. Everybody was like, "Yo, I need to take care of my health, bro, because I can't die before this game come out." So like, yo, if you PC dude's gonna wait until 2028 to get this game, yo, you better be going to the gym every single day of your life and eating nothing but healthy greens
Pushing your
because you're gonna
luck.
be waiting for a long time. They
Pushing your
bugging,
luck.
man. Just get a PS5
Yeah.
Pro and you good.
And PC gamers aren't healthy anyway, so they're definitely pushing
Yeah,
their luck with that. So,
facts.
um, so yeah, I think overall, yeah, GTA 6 for sure. Undisputed day one. Um, the next thing we can do is let's do factions next. Let's do factions.
Oh man.
Man, you know, ooh, this has been long overdue. So factions, a game that was very niche in in the world.
Yeah.
Last of Us. When people talk about Last of Us, they don't talk about the faction. They don't talk about the story. This multiplayer has been developed since 2020. I mean, it was announced in 2020, but it was in development long before that. And we saw like a lot of hirings and a lot of. It just wasn't very clear what the direction this game was going in. We had like Bungie coming in. There was a sort of Bungie like didn't like the way they were doing the monetizations. There was a lot of like bumps in the road with this multiplayer mode that expanded to be like its own separate live service game. And we learned just last week that Naughty Dog has officially canceled Factions 2. And one of the reasons they put in their article, and we can talk about this is, has legitimacy or not, well, they said, we understand that the scope, grew beyond our wildest ambitions. And that was a moment for us to decide whether we wanted to become like a full live service company or stick to our traditional single player games, and then we decided to cancel that because we didn't want to take away from what we were doing in the single player department.
Yeah.
So now Factions 2 is officially canceled, and that's one of the games that Sony had that a major blow to Sony's live service endeavor for sure. And hopefully Naughty Dog, will bounce back from this. It's definitely been rough for them. Just too many remasters. Last of Us 2 remaster with a roguelike mode for $10. Like, come on, what are we doing here, really? And yeah, like, just Pablo, what's your thoughts on the Factions 2 finally being canceled after it was long overdue? It seems.
Um. Yeah. Like when it came out, I don't know how long ago it was exactly, but I think it was like a few months ago. When they came out and said like, "Hey, we had to like, put a pause on The Last of Us Online." At that point, everybody should have assumed that like, yeah, this is probably gonna get canned. And a few months later, December 14th, they put up the that article about the update of Last of Us Online, and they said what they said. Honestly, at first I was a little upset because the way I envisioned the game in my mind, I was thinking like, okay, this is gonna be like some extraction type shooter, with like Last of Us Part Two graphics, maybe even more enhanced on on the PS5 and everything. And then I read this, the last sentence of the statement, like when they said that they had two paths in front of them, either focus all their resources on putting content for this game, um, or continue to focus on their single player narrative games like they've been doing in the past. And I'd rather them, focus on single player games. That's their bread and butter. That's what they're good at. Good at, you know. Like I didn't understand. It made sense for PlayStation to create new teams and studios from the ground up to make multiplayer IPs. That makes sense. I feel like you should not be asking your first party studios to try to make or like cram in any type of multiplayer component to the games, especially if they don't have any experience with it or any knowledge on how to monetize it in the correct and proper way. Like this is the best decision they made. Like I know people are gonna be upset, but I mean, like, how can you really be upset if we didn't even know what it looked like besides the concept art that they revealed, the year prior? So, I mean, I'm happy. I mean, it sucks, but single player games is where it's at when it comes to Naughty Dog. So, you know, I think the best thing they could do is when they release, because they said they were working on two games, I think,
Mhm.
simultaneously. So I'd
Yeah, new
imagine we might get
IP. They
a new
mentioned new
IP,
IP
right?
as well. Yeah, they mentioned
Yeah.
that. I
So
think.
I'd imagine it'll be. I don't know if it'll be the new IP first. I'd imagine it'll probably be Last of Us Part 3 that comes out first. But if that's the game that they're making, release it whenever it comes out, and then just add the core multiplayer component that you had in your previous game in The Last of Us One. So, I mean, I think that would be a slam dunk and a good, apology to the people that were waiting for this game. And I think that's the best thing for them to do going forward.
Yeah, like it's really interesting because we saw, like for instance, GTA Online is an example of this. People said like Rockstar doesn't make single player DLC, but they just make GTA Online stuff. We saw Halo Infinite, like to a lesser extent, where like you know it was implied that there was single player DLC planned, but the team, I think there was an interview that came out where they said that because of they want to revive the multiplayer, they decided to stop working on the single player stuff that they had planned.
Yeah,
So it's interesting that Naughty Dog is clearly, in my opinion, doing the right thing. Making a multiplayer game, especially in this age, is not the same as it was 15 years ago when you just like you can have Arkham Origins have a multiplayer mode that nobody will fucking play, or
yeah.
like Dead Space having multiplayer, or like
You think
Brain
it's harder
coming out.
than making a single player game, like crafting the multiplayer?
I
I
think
feel like
so.
it
I
is.
think yeah, I think so. I think so because the issue now is I've said this for years is that the model, 28, let's say 2017, right? Like, but
Yeah,
up to that point, multiplayers were usually in rotation. Like we had Rocket League, we had what was it? We had like Call of Duty, Overwatch. Like a lot of games were coming in and out. There wasn't like the Call of Duty was still on top, but like there wasn't like a Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 like type heavy hitter at that time until Overwatch came out. And then Fortnite came out, and then Apex came out, and then like you saw all these other games starting to get revived. Remember how like Ubisoft games were like how were famous for being revived? We don't hear that much anymore because the landscape has changed. Now there's a lot of established shooters. Like there's well-established shooters that have tons of content. They have tons of things to go for, and they're mostly free to play.
yeah,
And you're asking like you're asking somebody to drop all of the time that they had on the game that they're currently playing to play your game, and also your game because you have to use the old same model. You have no content at launch. So why would somebody give up all their time on this one game to go play your game with no content? And you're going to promise content 6 to 9 months later? Well, they'll just say, okay, I'll just come back in 6 to 9 months. But by then, it might not even be active anymore because there's no players. So there's like this bit of confusion, and um,
yeah. That's
that's
true.
why I think making multiplayer games a lot harder. Like you know, it's we saw like why they got Bungie. We saw like monetization. You have to do your own separate thing. You have to know how to make what skins you have to make for multiplayer that people will buy. Just things like this that don't really you don't really have to worry about when you're making a single player game. Um, and they can't just slap a mode in multiplayer. They can't do that. Like it's just not done anymore, really. Um, and that's why I thought this was the right move. And um, I think when they're revealing their new IP, they reveal Last of Us 3, we're gonna all forget about this. I think Last of Us, people will still remember factions, but with the new IP and what how multiplayer, people are gonna forget about it. And we saw a lot of like praise when I don't know what you saw. I saw the quote tweets. Everyone was like, "Yo, this is like great. Like this is great news. Like
Yeah,
they just focus on single player." And you had people that were trying to say, "Oh, like trying to like manufacture like, oh, they're just lying. They're just like faking it." But I'm like, bro, like these are the same people, like I said, that GTA has no story DLC, and they will say, "Why doesn't GTA have story DLC?" Well, that's because they're doing GTA Online. It's their multiplayer, so they can't do both in this day and age. They have to pick one or the other, in my opinion.
yeah, sure.
Um, just trying to think, like, yeah. Was there any other like thoughts you had on the faction situation? Trying to think of follow up questions.
Um, I just hope that there isn't any issues with the leadership, you know, inside their company because I mean, let's not take away from the fact that they haven't dropped like any PS5 only game like since the game's been out. I mean, I know it's only been out for 3 years. It's not really like a lot, but I mean, re-releasing your previous games, and then just adding like a little bit of content is not really doing you any favors. It's making people think that you're not working on the game until like the PS6 comes out, and I feel
Yeah,
like that might be the case with them. Um, and honestly, I think the next game that does come out might come out towards like the end of like this generation. I don't
mm,
know. Unless they they're working on part three of The Last of Us. You could probably flip some of those assets and kind of make it in, touch it up a little bit and then make it into a next gen only game. But I mean, it's just a little concerning, like where their head was at, and the fact that they wasted this much time on that was kind of ridiculous. They could have had a game out by now, but I mean, I hope they have something to show us at least next year. Like, give us a teaser or something.
yeah. Like, like they can't be this. I understand why they're so quiet because we see like people are judging leaks like they're the final product. I think like more and more companies are a
Oh,
bit hesitant to show stuff because people just don't want to believe that this can change. Um, but there has to be some sort of middle ground that they can do. That they have to still keep their fans informed somewhat. And like we don't know anything about next year. All we know, like we don't know anything about first party for next year, which is
no,
pretty
no,
concerning. It's pretty
no.
like The Last of Us roguelike should not be the thing that you start the year off with, any year off with. Which is it's very concerning to me. Like, yeah, I don't know what, and like I don't know what they're gonna do. Because they have all these other studios, and like we know nothing from Sucker Punch, we know nothing from like uh all these other studios that they have,
If
and
you
it's just
want,
Insomniac.
I actually have it pulled up here, like what all the PlayStation studios work on. Like, if you want me to like go down the
Mm.
list, so
Sure,
just so we can have a good idea, like,
where
um,
they're at.
so let's see the Japan studios right here. So Polyphony Digital, they dropped Gran Turismo 7. That came out last year, right? Am I
Yeah,
correct?
last
Yeah,
spring, I believe.
last spring. Um, so they're gonna be providing post-launch support content for the game for the foreseeable future. So they're gonna be busy with that for a little bit.
Hmm.
Team Asobi, they're staffing up for a 3D action game, which I mean, I actually didn't know that until I read that. I'd imagine it'll probably be something related to like Astro's Playroom or something. So that's
Yeah,
gonna be a
but
nice
those
game
games
to
should
play.
not take. It shouldn't take that long to make like an Astro sequel, no? Like it's like it's been like 3 years, almost 3 years since the Playroom. I hope like they have a game
Oh
next
yeah,
year because it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take that long. Uh, that's
actually you're
another thing
right.
that's another thing I saw. Like I've been saying this about Sony, they need to really embrace like small budget, but budget titles for as a stopgap between the releases. Like
Yeah,
they can't have these like long droughts. They can't do this, and it's these ballooning budgets. Like they need to have a middle ground for people because like last generation you had like Gravity Rush, you had Shadow of the Colossus, you had Last Guardian, um, you had Concrete Genie. I know the studio closed down, but they still had those like small games in between. They need to have that here because they can't be like this.
yeah. No, I agree with that. Like, if they can get some of the smaller studios like craft some like really cool and interesting games between waiting for like the big AAA stuff. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna help. Like, you can't just rely on Insomniac to help you drop all these games. Like, I mean, I know we'll get into that, but you know, like, they need something. Like, Final Fantasy is not gonna hold me over forever. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
need
a three.
something a
Yeah,
little more substantial than that.
yeah,
But
exactly. Or like Rise of Ronin. Like you need like we need more than those two games for your
yeah,
first quarter.
yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, Fire Sprite. Apparently they're working on a dark story-driven horror game and a multiplayer action title built in Unreal Engine 5. I mean, they've been working on that since I think 2021. It's probably still too early to talk about that, but we should hear
Yeah.
something within the next year or two about that. Guerrilla Games, apparently they're working on a Horizon online co-op game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's true. I forgot Forbidden West came out 2 years ago. I completely forgot about that.
damn, did it really?
I think the 2020. No, sorry, it came out last year.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
coming. It's
So,
coming to PC. It's coming to PC next year. I thought it
oh,
was the
PC.
2 year thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But but yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to give a good idea of like, kind of what they're working on and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't agree that they should give their single player narrative driven studios like multiplayer, duties and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad idea.
Like it's just like yes, a studio can be as amazing as it is for single player. It doesn't mean that multiplayer is a whole different animal. Like it's a whole different beast. I don't know why people like are so adverse to that reality. It's like if you're really good at one particular thing, you can't just up and do something completely different. Like the best people can't even do that. So I don't understand like why they expect all these single player studios to make these games. And I wonder like if Jim Ryan's departure, I really wonder if his departure will have a shift. Like it's obviously way too soon to tell, but um, if they're serious about reevaluating something, they already delayed a bunch of their service games, and if the sentiment across all their studios is we don't want to make these type of games, and they see like the stagnation of their studio's progress, then I really hope that gets them to reconsider what they do from here on out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to move on to the Insomniac stuff?
let's do it. So last week there was a alleged ransomware attack that hit Insomniac Games, and the group that carried out the attack gave them a week to pay them the ransom, or else they would release all the information. Well, week has passed, and we've gotten a whole bunch of information ranging from Wolverine gameplay to Wolverine plot to the plot of Wolverine, the voice actors in the game, a whole bunch of different mechanics and animations in the game. We also got a roadmap of their next few games, and then we also got some other information like exclusivity, and even more so, we got information about like sales of some of their other first party titles. So, what do you want to start with, Pablo, with regards to the Insomniac leaks?
I kind of want to get into the gameplay, and first of all, like, if there's anybody in here that doesn't want to hear about like what the gameplay is gonna be like, or like, I don't think we'll get into the story because they
No,
did
I
do a
didn't look at
plot
the
leak.
plot either.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
we
talk
won't get
about
the
the
plot.
plot leak stuff, but
Yeah.
if we don't want to talk about it, but the yeah, we can get into the gameplay. It looked, obviously I'm not gonna judge it as if it's a final product, game because it's not out yet. But I mean, it looks pretty impressive from what I've seen. Obviously the graphics weren't like on when
Yeah.
when the combat was happening and stuff like that. But it looks really brutal. It does look. People were saying that it looked like Spider-Man, but with just Wolverine, with a Wolverine skin on. I disagree. It's just Spider-Man is not as visceral as a Wolverine character.
Mhm.
So, yeah, like obviously you have like your regular like kind of light attacks. Just kind of swiping at the enemies. But then he would have like kind of like these like I guess finish at the end of the combo. He would either like pick him up, and like use him as a shield, and then throw him to like a different enemy and stuff. There seems like there's like destructible environments in the game too.
All right, I think should be okay now.
Were we still live when he moved or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. I think we're okay now. Because
Oh,
I think when he gets moved, uh, like the whole stream gets moved too.
oh, okay. Oh yeah, because the streamer from his computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry about that, everyone.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so Red Hood was AFK.
Red Hood has the flu hood has look. He has one job, and even when he's on the flu down with the flu, it's still really tough for him. So just forgive him this week, all right?
Yeah, he's
Internet
internet.
died.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Should be fine. Can you guys still hear us? I think they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, like yeah, it seemed really visceral. The mobility looked really cool and stuff, like how I'd imagine how Logan would move, in a Wolverine game. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, if anything, this got me hyped. Look, I feel
Mhm.
bad that it got leaked, but people. I wanted to say this. I told you earlier, like people acting like somebody's cousin died. Like, come on, man. Like a game just got leaked. Ahead of time. I'm sure they wanted to reveal that. At a state of play or whatever and stuff. But like, yo, nobody's family passed away or nothing like that. They're gonna
Mhm.
be fine. Like, I mean, I don't want their information to get leaked or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, bro, these people not gonna care if you get fired or something like that. So like, don't stress over it like you live with them or something like that. But
Mhm.
I get it though. I get why people like a little upset. I mean, if anything, the devs should be more upset than you are. Like you're not the one making the game. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. But what did you think about it? Well, disappointing. We're expecting more.
Uh, I saw there's actually a gameplay that has like assets around it. It's like more like in a small room. I saw like that bit of gameplay. I didn't want to see too much to not to spoil myself. I
Yeah.
liked how the suit looked.
Oh, was
Um,
it? Oh, it was with the suit. Oh, okay, you saw
there,
that
no,
one.
there was sorry, there was one without the suit, but it was like there was assets around. Like there was like it was like
Yeah.
in a little room, and there it was like it would look more like not like pre-alpha footage. Um, Honestly, like I think my only thing I had the same complaint about Ragnarok. The camera's just a bit too close for that type of combat. I just wish like they had a. I just wish like they just got out of this like over the shoulder perspective and went just center. I don't know why they're just allergic to the center camera because I think for that game and now like how brutal it's going to be, I think it could really use that. Um,
Yeah.
but besides that, like no, the game like again like I don't know. I don't think it looks like Spider-Man 2. I think people just say that because that's like it's just like oh like it's like their last game. But I think people were also mocking like I don't know if you saw like the whole detective thing, like with the smell and stuff and like the whole stealth mechanics and everything. Um, People were
Oh
mocking
yeah.
that. Yeah, people were mocking
Yeah.
that as well. But it's like every hero game has some sort of like puzzle detective stuff.
Yeah.
Wolverine's like no exception to that rule.
Did you like
Um,
that, or you thought that was weird? The Spider-Man thing.
uh I mean, I didn't mind it. Like, I didn't mind. I think the only thing for me, there's like a little. I won't say it. There's like one particular thing that I hope that it's just like it kind of gave me a little bit of an eye roll. I'll put it in our Discord because I don't want to. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. Um, um, like I just don't need that in like every Sony game that comes out. I just wish like they came out with the game just about
Oh.
the person and not just about anything else. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's like the only thing, but it's just like a small nitpick. As long as they don't make it like annoying to do, then I'll be okay with it. Um, but I was just shocked at how much got leaked. I was very shocked. Like it could be like a playable demo or something at some points. It was pretty
Yeah.
insane.
I'm gonna share something in the chat. This is pretty much if you want to look at it, this is pretty much all everything that got leaked from
Yeah,
Reddit. It was an insane amount. I'm actually looking at some of the concept art right now. I did not know this got leaked as well, and going by what was leaked here, it matches up with what I read in the plot leak. So it seems like it's gonna be pretty accurate. They might change a few things, closer to launch, but yeah, it's insane that it has to be somebody that's working with PlayStation or something, or like people were saying that it might be a contractor that might have gotten a hold of these things or something like that. But that's crazy that they were able to get this amount of information. Usually, when something leaks out, from a studio or like a publisher, usually it's like a few things. Like this is like literally like the next few years of like Insomniac's work getting leaked
yeah.
out, which is
I
crazy.
I think the closest thing to this is the Half-Life 2 leak. I think that's
The
like the
half
closest thing.
yeah,
When the whole game got leaked, like just like months before release. I think that's like the closest thing to this. Even I mean, people say GTA 6 was worse, but um,
right.
I don't remember GTA 6 having this level of like you said, like not just this game, but other stuff that they're working on. Um, so I'm pretty shocked at that. Um, but no, the concept art looks incredible. Like that honestly, this gets you like that along with the concept art I guess you're really hyped because that game is going to be incredible, regardless of what the naysayers on Twitter say and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks dope.
So do we want to move on to the other parts of the league, like regarding their internal info, like with their future games?
The extended, yeah, the extended roadmap. Yeah, I got it pulled up right
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Go ahead if you want to start first, and then I'll just bounce off of you.
So pretty much we have their slate until 2035 release. So we have a Wolverine game in 2025. We also have Spider-Man 3 in like 2027, 2028. Now keep in mind again these release dates could change, and things can be pushed around and stuff. We also have an X-Men game and another X-Men game. So we have two X-Men games within 4 years of each other, and two new IPs within 4 years of each other as well. That between the X-Men releases. There's also, which was, to be honest, it was expected just because of the game. I don't know about you, but there's a Venom like standalone game in 2025 that's supposed to be released, which to be fucking amazing. I cannot wait for that. Which is like a standalone game, and then Spider-Man 2 will come out. Sorry, Spider-Man 3 will come out a few years later. So like, what do you think overall about this X-Men and this like? There's also some multiplayer ambition they have. There's like Spider-Man 2 online, Wolverine online, X-Men online. Like they're really showing like they still have some sort of multiplayer aspirations for their single player games that they're coming out with, which keeps in line with Sony's like ambitions for live service.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed there was a lot of chatter online, like people were upset, like, yo, they're gonna be relegated to like just making Marvel content. I mean, that like looking at the roadmap, they do have plans to make, two new IPs within like the next 10 years. If things can change, but if it's correct, like it is on this map, 2031 first new IP, and then 2035 another new IP. I mean, they're not completely just making Marvel content only. They're going to be making some new stuff. So that's not necessarily true that they're just relegated to just making Marvel content only. And I find it kind of interesting that like the Spider-Man stuff, like and even the Wolverine stuff, the X-Men online multiplayer makes a lot of sense because there's so many characters enriched in that world. Um, and I guess Spider-Man 2 does make sense too. Honestly, I thought when Spider-Man 2 was revealed, and the way they showed that trailer and everything, I thought that it was going to launch as a co-op game where
Mm-hmm.
you can play with a buddy and somebody can play as Miles and you play as Peter. So maybe that's something. It seems like it's coming out next year, multiplayer 1.0, and the version keeps going up. So I'm wondering if they're going to expand on how you play with other people,
Mm-hmm.
going to game, but it's pretty cool. I was looking at the platforms as well. It said PlayStation console and PC. Um, People kind of mistaken this as like, oh, they're gonna do day and date.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it just shows that it's going to come out on PC eventually, like within the next 2 years or so. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, it doesn't say that like right there, but if you just look at their track record, that's kind of what's been happening. Spider-Man came out in 2018 on PS4, and then it came out like 2020, 2021 on PC or whatever,
Yeah.
somewhere around there, or like 2019.
Um,
Well, definitely not 20. Yeah, I think it was like 2020 or 2021.
because 2020 was the remastered, and then August 2022 it came out to PC.
Oh, okay,
Because Miles Morales then came out in October on the same year on PC. It was
okay,
within that 2 year window at that
okay,
point.
okay. So the
Yeah.
2 year window, yeah, because remasters technically like a new game. Yeah, so yeah, it pretty much fits their window. Um, some other exclusivity stuff was like kind of interesting,
Mm-hmm.
because it said between now and December 31st, 2035, Marvel cannot release or announce any X-Men games on console, PC streaming, or use an X-Men character as a competitive advantage in a game. Play as Wolverine and Ultimate Alliance exclusively on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So they're gonna have the whole catalog of like X Men characters like locked down on PlayStation for the foreseeable future. which makes sense why Xbox, has Blade and stuff like that. He's not an X-Men or anything, but yeah, that's going to be interesting. Seeing like what character. Well, we know what characters PlayStation's going to be having, but it'll be interesting to see what characters. If Xbox will grab any more characters in the future besides Blade, and see how they can maneuver around this whole thing with X-Men and stuff. But uh, yeah, it's crazy seeing like how licensing terms work and everything like that, like and like how the exclusivity like plays a factor and everything. Um, it's insane, but I mean, I like this lineup. It's a good lineup. If anybody's gonna be able to execute and make some dope games, it's definitely Insomniac. Like in the X-Men Insomniac game, that's hey man, I'm on board. Definitely.
And also, because that makes sense because Spider-Man was released with Avengers. It was weird because Spider-Man was only on PlayStation for Avengers, but then I think he was in Ultimate Alliance for Nintendo Switch. Uh, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out like why. I'm trying to think.
I mean, they
Oh,
did name
because
drop Xbox specifically on it, so
oh,
that was
it.
interesting.
You know why? Because so here it says like as a competitive advantage. So like you can only use their character on Xbox, but like uh, Nintendo Switch was no like competitive advantage for Spider-Man. It was just in the game. I think that's what they mean.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like you can make like a game like that, but you just can't use it as like an incentive. But and like you can't announce purely X-Men games on other platforms. But if X-Men happens to be in this other game, then that's fine. I think that's what I'm. I think that's what I'm uh, reading from it. And it says like it can appear
Yeah.
in multi-family friendly like Marvel games like Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Oh,
if like if Square Enix made DLC for Marvel's Avengers with the X-Men, that'd be okay.
right.
I think that's an example.
Okay.
Um,
All right, that makes sense. So
yeah,
if Xbox wanted to make like a Fantastic Four game and an X-Men character was to appear, that wouldn't be an issue, pretty much.
yeah. I don't think that would be an issue.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair enough.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I also forgot to mention we also have Ratchet and Clank in 2029. Um, so I guess that would give the Wolverine team 3 years to make Ratchet and Clank with the next game. I mean, again, if you have 3 years for Ratchet and Clank game, it really needs to be like I guess Rift Apart also had 3 years. It can't be $70. You got to make it a budget game because Ratchet and Clank. I love Ratchet and Clank. I'm a huge fan. I played every game, every mainline title. I don't play those BS side games like All for One and the full frontal assault. I think it's called something like that. But
Right.
those games cannot be full price. They just not. It's just like not big budget. I don't think a Ratchet and Clank is big budget. And I don't think it attracts $70 as a price tag.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it makes sense why they're releasing, some of these games like kind of, or they're gonna be releasing them kind of in a close fashion. Oh, something I noticed actually is weird. This one slide says that Wolverine's coming out in 2026, but in the other one it says 2025. So I'm wondering, like, maybe the second one's more accurate. I feel like they could make a Venom game like kind of like Miles Morales, in the
yeah,
next 2 years. So I
yeah.
think this one makes more sense. Um, but yeah, like they do a lot of asset flips for their game, so like, it makes sense that things are coming out in a timely fashion. Um, so yeah, I don't mind. I mean, people should not be mad at this if they're dropping games back to back. I mean, obviously you want to give them time to cook so that the game looks extra pristine and everything when it comes out. But I mean, they're dropping quality games. They're
hmm
doing quality and quantity. So that's good.
Like I thought Spider-Man 2 was like showing me that quality over quantity. I think like the game being like 15-20 hours to do everything is like a perfectly serviceable like length, and nothing really felt like bloated or like just there for the sake of being there just to add more hours to the game.
Yeah,
And if they can make their games like a bit more lean in its like format and its pacing, and come up with it faster, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't like. I think that's something that I would love for them, for more studios to do, just so we can get games faster and not have to like worry about these budgets like ballooning like crazy. I think Spider-Man 2 costs like what 350 million or something like that. We can check that too, but it's pretty insane.
damn.
We can also see like some of the PC releases, so some of the sales. I think we got a chart recent before
Yeah.
about some of the PC releases. This is just like I guess this is more of an updated version. So we see that Horizon is still the top selling PC game, but every PC game after that does suffer a decline in sales, like God of War, Days Gone, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. I was shocked that Spider-Man Remastered only sold 1.3 million. And then Legacy of These collections sold under 500k. Uh, Also, Miles Morales sold 450k, and then Sackboy sold 63k. Um, so, what do you think of these numbers, Pablo, regards to their PC releases? And should they should they be higher? Should they try to make them higher, or should they just keep it the way it is right now with these releases?
At first, I was like, yeah, these games did like triple copper in the box office, but after like looking at, I think I was reading something. I don't know if it's probably in one of the leaks here. The cost like to develop resources to put these on, or to make a PC version of these games. I think it was short of like 30 million.
Yeah, it has to be like under
That's
30
like,
million.
yeah, like it's way less compared to making it initially, and hundreds of millions of it going into like a console version. So, well, first of all, the game's already made already, so like they just need to put a little bit of money to like build it around different PC configurations and all that stuff. Like, so I mean, if it costs 30 million and then the game sells like at least 1 million, I mean, I'd imagine they're getting a pretty good profit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers are not too bad. I will say, I was expecting Spider-Man to at least be on top or above
Me too.
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Me too.
because because of the nature of the IP, it being Spider-Man in general, and being like a global phenomenon in the world and a part of culture. Um, I'm actually surprised Horizon actually sold better than at least Marvel, or at least Spider Man. Like I had a feeling it would do a little bit better than Uncharted, but I wasn't even expecting Uncharted to sell that low. That was, I don't know if they barely made a profit on that or what, but um yeah, like Horizon kind of killed it on Steam. So
I
I'd
think that
imagine,
was yeah. I feel like that was because like everyone's like, let's just buy it to like bring more PC releases, right? That was like the big thing with
yeah.
Horizon was like let's just bring it on so they can bring more games to PC. I agree with you. Like Spider Man, like, and there's no excuse because like it's Spider Man. It's not a sequel or anything. It's like the first game, and it's Sony's like version. So I'm not sure why it only sold 1.3 million. That's to me that's pretty low. Um, but it should sell at least like three. It's just a one that Horizon, for sure. Um, but
I mean, Days
Legacy of
Gone did better than
which is
Spider Man.
crazy, which is
That's
crazy.
kind of crazy.
Also, like yeah, Uncharted. I think Uncharted is because like the first three games aren't on PC. But also
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's why. And I wonder if like so with some of the earlier PS4 games like Uncharted, did people play those on console already? And at that time, it was like it's gonna be on PlayStation forever, so like there wasn't this PC thing happening. So,
Um,
cause I know for me, like I definitely played it on console when it came out, so I don't need to really buy it anymore. And Sackboy, Sackboy is a very again, that's another game that it should not be $70. It should not be $70. I don't know why it's full price or $60. It just makes no sense. I think that's a big reason why it just did not sell well at all. Because if it was like $20 or like 20 or like $30, like it would be a great like couch co-op platformer to get
yeah.
on PC. So
I guess honestly, damn. Actually, I'm just looking at it now. I get why people saying it's a flop in the sense that like, all right, Spider-Man sold 1.3 since August of last year. Like, you would think there would be a growth like year on year for like the game, selling. Or I mean, it's only been 1 year, but like at least every few months, the game would sell like consistently well. But it kind of hit its ceiling already and stuff. It's just like I think the issue with that, like everybody that wanted to play the game, like already played it on PS5, so it's like or
yeah,
PS4. So you know, it just goes to show you, PC players, they're probably really not that interested in PlayStation games like that. as much as we thought they would be.
Mhm.
Besides Horizon and God of War, you know.
Do you think they should keep it this 2 year gap, or do you think they should like close it, or what? What do you think they should do?
I mean, I don't want to get into the math because I mean I know they pretty much made a profit off of this, but if they're spending 30 million to like port the game over to PC for each game, I mean, and they're at least making 1 million off of every game, you know, within a year. I mean, I think that works fine for them. You know, they don't really need to do day and date unless unless they feel like they get an IP of a game, like I don't know, let's say like they make Horizon 3, and then they feel like, hey, like if we launch the day and date, like maybe maybe it'll sell double than what it was if we really just release it 2 years. But I don't think that would be the case. I think the strategy is fine. You know, I think it just depends on the name of the game and like how interested people are. Ain't nobody buying Sackboy for $70 on Steam. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like so much Sackboy is on key sites right now.
Yeah,
Like probably like $30 or something.
yeah, it has to be better. But
Yeah, it's like $30 right now on key
yeah,
sites. Yeah, that's a good price for it. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I don't know why people like are saying, oh, like their games aren't selling like this, so Sony has to do day and day. Like that. I don't. I think they're just like they just want to find any reason to like push this day and day narrative because Xbox is doing it, and like that means Sony should follow suit. Even though like Xbox has been doing day and date on Game Pass for like 6 years, and Sony still has not done that. And there was
yeah,
another graph that showed like Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West were on pace at the same time, but when they released it on PS Plus, the sales flatlined on for Horizon Forbidden West because it was on PS Plus Extra. Um, so because I know I agree like with for the win, like I wouldn't have a PS5 either if not for day and date. I might still have like maybe some Japanese games, especially the Final Fantasy is like it's exclusive for a year and stuff. But for first party, yeah, no, I agree. Like I would not have a PS5 if I knew that it was like, gonna be on PC day one.
oh yeah,
And also like
sure.
if somebody has a console, they could buy other stuff on the console, not just the exclusive, which is what Sony's
Yeah.
banking on, the ecosystem. So I don't think that's worth giving up for a day and date on PC. For it's not even guaranteed on either.
Hon- Honestly, actually, I think I would still have a PS5 if if it was day and date, but the game ran kind of shitty like on PC. You know,
Mm.
because sometimes we get like some bad ports sometimes. Then I would still have the console just in case like if I know that it's gonna run like a lock 30 or lock 60 on there. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yep.
But let's see what else do we have here? Projected cost. I think that's about it. They have like the Venom game overview. I don't know if you want to get into that.
Mm.
Apparently, oh, honestly, that's kind of spoilerish. Actually, I won't get into that. Some people don't get spoiled on it.
Yeah. There's also some like great web Spider-Man game. I think it's supposed to be like a co-op like service game, a live service game or something like that. Where you play as different Spider-Man. See if I
Oh, I
have
think I saw
anything.
that. That
There's a
was
lot of
a
like
great
concept art. It
one.
says like Spider-Man meets GT Online. So I guess it's implied that you'll just be doing maybe missions like co-op Spider-Man missions and stuff. Maybe like a Suicide Squad or something, or like a Marvel's Avengers,
Oh
like Ultimate
yeah.
New York City sandbox. But again, it's still not very clear what it would be based on the concept art. We can only draw so much from it.
Wait, so this would be like a Spider Verse game?
It just says like a multiverse that matters. I think there was like a Gwen Stacy from Spider Verse like concept art. Um, it's kind of unclear what type of game it would be.
I remember GTA Online. That would be kind of dope. Like 12 Spider Man running around in the world, like killing each other and stuff. That'd be kind of interesting. Got to see how that plays out. Possible split.
Let's see if there's anything else to draw from these leaks. There's also like Blue Point's game, but we don't really know much about it. It's just like it's new IP though. It's not a remake, so I guess the whole Metal Gear Solid 1 remake rumors are dispelled. And also, I want to say, all these leaks, everything that's been going on, it just shows us that never, ever, ever, ever listen to these stupid insiders, these stupid fake insiders that think they know like what these devs are working on, because they don't know anything, and they should not be getting any sort of exposure or clicks or engagement from what they say online, because nobody ever. I never heard anyone talk about an X-Men game. I never heard anybody talk about a Venom standalone DLC. I never heard anyone talking about like a Ratchet and Clank game in 2029. Never, ever. So just ignore all of these PlayStation and fake insiders, and I promise you, like, you'll just be more happy in your life, because these insiders are not doing us any favors right now.
It's interesting. I'm reading that. I'm looking at this Spider-Man, Part 3 thing. Apparently, they're gonna ship the game as
like a 2-part game.
like a 2-part game.
I don't know. I don't know if they would do that.
It's weird because it says $49.99 for Part 1 and 2, but the launch price says $70. Oh, never mind. They have it crossed out. Never mind.
But then say a combo would be $60 for both.
Combos?
So 2029. So if you
2029. Yeah.
I don't think they would do that. I think this just seems like a pitch or something. I don't think this would happen at all. I mean, like I guess FF7 is going to start like a whole freaking trend in gaming where everyone's just doing parts and stuff.
I mean, if they're going to do that, the game needs to actually be a little cheaper, because you're not selling me the full vision or version of the game. You're kind of holding back on the content to re-release it to me like a year later. So like, I felt like I mean, $50 would be like a fair price for that game. You know what I mean? I mean, they did that with Miles Morales, so.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know how that would go. Like, just the optics of like the third game in a trilogy will be $50 instead of $70. Like, yes, it's great for us, but it's like, what are the optics going to look like for that? It's like, why is this $50? The last one was $70. Like, what does that say? Or does that show us?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. Was there any other like thoughts or any other thing you wanted to point out in regards to these leaks?
I'm looking at everything right now. Seems like, yeah, nothing else I really wanted to touch on. Without I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. All in all, like these, it's pretty crazy. Like again, this year has been a crazy year for leaks from everyone. But it's nice for us to get like some insights into what these companies are actually like thinking on a day-to-day basis, and just how, outside looking in, how are they navigating this gaming landscape. So, yeah, it's really great to see. So next topic, this is the last topic before we get into our end of year recap. We're going to go over the Game Awards. We're going to go over some of the winners and some major announcements. If there's any major announcements or I miss Pablo or like awards, just like let me know. I'll just like go through some of the major announcements that we saw. So I'm gonna first go over some of the categories and the winners. So obviously, Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 really like took a lot of awards today in the game show. I was a bit surprised at that, just because like, again, we expect Tears of the Kingdom because of how big it was and everything, but Baldur's Gate 3 like came out of the gate, like, and it really just made a huge impact. So next we have Best Game Direction. It went to Alan Wake 2. And then Best Narrative went to Alan Wake 2 once again. And then Best Art Direction, Alan Wake 2 also did really well, but I don't know why. Like, I swear, we also saw like Remedy's game did not perform well in the charts at all. In NPD, their games I never will understand. I'm a big Remedy hater. I want to disclose that right now. I don't like their games at all. I thought Control was absolute garbage, and I thought the map was probably the most confusing game I ever played. That map was absolutely horrible, and I that's when I learned that roguelike games, Metroidvanias can have bad maps. I didn't think Metroid's map was bad. I didn't think Jedi's Fallen Order's map was bad, or The Messenger. I mean, Messenger's a bad game regardless, but I just don't understand how they can win so many awards and they have no clout. They have no clout. They have no sales clout. They have no like actual clout to win this many categories. I think it's just recency bias in my opinion. So best score in music obviously went to Final Fantasy 16, the best soundtrack of the year by far. And there's no debate with that. Best performance went to I would have liked obviously Ben Starr to win because Clive was fucking incredible, his voice, or Idris Elba to win. But like the little bits I've seen of the actor for Baldur's Gate 3, he did an incredible job. He was really good in that game. And then let's see, an ongoing game. We could talk about this, but Cyberpunk winning best ongoing game, I don't know about that. I think that's kind of giving them still a trophy even after what they did. And I will acknowledge that they did an incredible job with the game, but that I don't think that should have been there. Community support, Baldur's Gate 3 makes sense because the game was in early access for a few years. Independent game went to Sea of Stars. Best indie game went to Cocoon. And then best action game went to Armored Core, which is I think I voted for that. Even though I haven't played Armored Core yet, but they could definitely say that's best action game. Action adventure went to Legend of Zelda. Best RPG, Baldur's Gate again. Best fighting game, Street Fighter. And then family game went to Mario Brothers Wonder. Best sports racing was Forza. Best multiplayer by Discord, Baldur's Gate 3. Most anticipated game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Player's choice went to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And was there anything else in here that was all the major awards. So what did you think of the winners and who won what? What did you think of the winners for the Game Awards?
Honestly, the only one I had an issue with was Cyberpunk because, I mean, the experience was evolved in a sense like that. An expansion was added to the game. Some mechanics got refined, but I felt like if anybody should have won, it was Fortnite. Fortnite, they added the no build mode and everything. They've been, changing the design of the maps, in interesting, intricate ways. Like Cyberpunk, they just added an expansion. They just added a section of a map. Mind you, I only played a little bit of it, so it's not really fair to me to really say that it shouldn't win. But based on what I've seen, I don't think it should have won. I thought this was only for ongoing multiplayer games. I didn't know it applied to single player properties. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was a little weird. And I looked at the people that vote on this, the jury. Bro, it's sites that obviously don't have good takes in gaming and stuff like that. Bro, game ranks who is come on, bro. You got these people deciding what category gets to win a game. I don't know, man. I feel like the voting should be up to the people. Why do you need a jury to decide? It makes it if you want people to be more involved in it, because I get he's trying to go for a more Oscar type feel for it, but bro, it's video games. Obviously, it ranges across, kid to adult and stuff like that. But I feel like people should vote in these categories, at least some of the important ones, game of the year. I feel like the fans should vote for that. Not a jury. That's
Mm-hmm.
just me.
I think the only way he can do all everything for everything's up to the players is if he does paper ballots or something. Because if he does online voting, it's just gonna get spam botted and everything, and it's just so
would it?
easy to. I think so because that's so not spam, but it's very easy to generate redirect your fan base to vote for this. There you go, perfect. I was saying it's really easy to redirect your fans to vote for a particular thing that you want, because an example of that is BTS. How Andrew Wiggins got nominated for the All Star game? That was because of BTS. because one of their favorite players was Andrew Wiggins, and like they had their fans like vote for Andrew Wiggins for the All Star game. So I thought that's what Andrew Wiggins like was able to make it was because of that. And then like every year Genshin Impact will win this particular category for like the best like player's choice or something. No, not player's choice, but like I think there's one particular category that Genshin will win because players will get a specific award in the game for voting, and I think something else for winning. So like they give incentives for their players to vote for the game awards. So I think the only way he could do something like that is if he does paper ballots. Just like it's just a lot harder to tip the results.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Then.
Yeah, I agree with Cyberpunk though. Even though I beat the whole thing this year, like it's just I just don't like the idea of awarding a company. I understand that they've made mistakes and we should be able to forgive people for making the mistake that they did, but there still has to be like a bit of like limitations to how we welcome someone back for something. And I think Cyberpunk, with the way that they lied and just how much was taken out of the game, and not to mention the fact that they did not let people use their gameplay in the reviews, they had to use specific gameplay that CDPR had for their reviews, is pretty it's pretty disgusting, and I think that should not be acceptable. And doing this is we just say, okay, you made great DLC, you sold a lot of copies, that's fine, but you don't get an award for it. It should go to Fortnite. And Fortnite had a freaking like they drop. I know this was after, but they dropped like a Lego mode. They dropped Fortnite Festival, and they might drop like they might bring back like guitar instruments for like Fortnite Festival, which is fucking awesome. Like they're making like a whole like life in Fortnite with what they're doing, and that is the best ongoing game, not like Cyberpunk.
I agree.
Yeah. What do you think of the game of the year and like Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake 2 sweeping the awards?
Oh man, let me hold on. Let me pull it up real quick right here. The winners. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at the list. So I beat Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2. Yeah, those are only two games I beat on this list actually. Yeah.
You didn't beat RE4?
I'm a pussy and I'm scared to beat the game.
Oh,
Like it's weird because I beat Alan Wake 2 and then I'm
damn.
like scared to beat this game. So
Damn.
like
Resident Evil is even scary. RE4 is even scary, bro.
I don't know, man.
Damn.
It's just something
When you play
about
Game Pass drop?
nah. I have it on Steam. I have it on Steam, so I can beat it whenever. But it's just like I don't know. The tight corridors is like I don't know. It's weird because
Mhm.
Dead Space 2. I mean, Dead Space remake was like kind of similar, but I beat that. I don't know. It's just something about this game
That
that's
space is a lot scarier
I
than
think
RE4. Dead Space is a
yeah,
lot
like
scarier. It's a lot darker. In my opinion, Dead Space is like much scarier than RE4.
this game used
RE4 is not that scary. In my opinion, there wasn't that many jump scares. I don't think.
this game used to haunt me when I was a kid. So like I think that's
Oh
like
yeah,
what's
that could be why.
like making me like not want to progress further in the game. Like I'm like, oh my god, I remember this section when I was younger, like on GameCube. But I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, like I heard a lot of good things about this game, but like I mean, this game kind of launched in like a poor state when it came out, from what I remember. Like on one of the acts,
Act 3, I know, was kind of rough.
yeah, like I know it ran better, like all around throughout like everything else, but I felt like in order for you, and I need to, preface this like I don't care who wins. Like I mean, this is just like something to just talk about, whatever. But
Yeah,
I feel like if you're game of the year, you gotta be perfect bell to bell. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm a wrestler and I'm going against another wrestler, like we having a 5-star classic, no botches. It's just like flawless in ring movement. Like that's how like I feel like a game should be. Like like no bugs, no glitches, no nothing. Story's perfect, gameplay's perfect, frame rate is perfect, and I feel like I didn't really see that from what I saw like with Baldur's Gate 3. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't play it," but I mean, you don't need to play every game to know whether or not you like it or not. You can watch some YouTube
I
and
agree.
see, but I mean, I don't know. I'm happy for Larian Studios because it's cool to see some studios that are like unknown, get some clout. And honestly, I feel like From Software really benefited from winning because didn't they win Game of the Year like last year or something like
Yeah,
that?
Elden Ring, and then one Sekiro before that.
Sekiro. I think when they run Sekiro, like, because this show brings a lot of eyes, to gaming and the gaming industry in general. I think when you win Game of the Year, and casual people see that, they watching on YouTube, they're like, yo, what game is this?
Mhm.
Let me check it out. And I think From Software like benefited from that, and I think that could be the case for Larian Studios, like going in the future when they drop like a new game, in the future. So, it's definitely going to benefit them because a lot of the other studios and publishers on here, they already got clout. Capcom, they goaded.
Mhm.
Cap God, you know
Cap
what I'm saying?
gods,
Like,
facts.
Like they're dropping bangers after bangers. Nintendo is Nintendo, and Remedy is whatever.
Yeah,
So, and
Remedy ain't got no clout. They had the first some clout.
I'm not gonna lie, they make interesting games, from narrative standpoint, but yeah, like I don't know how they're making the games they're making, like with that type of budget. Honestly, like, I mean, it makes sense that Epic Games, they probably did the funding for this game. I don't think
They
they'd be
did.
able to fund their
They
own.
published it. They published it.
Yeah, they published it, right?
It's one.
Yeah,
It was
like
one in the Epic Store.
yeah, they I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll get to the point to where they can fund their own games because they just
Yeah.
don't really sell that well. So they need a publisher,
Hmm.
So
Yeah. No, I agree. Like Baldur's Gate. Like, I'll never talk shit about it. Like, I think the only thing for me, like, holding me back from playing it, I just Western RPGs in general. Most of the settings I don't like. I don't like fantasy. I don't like the whimsical fantasy stuff. I don't like post-apocalyptic Fallout type setting. I don't like pure sci-fi like Mass Effect. I just like never liked any of the settings in these Western RPG games. And like Cyberpunk was the first one I played because I liked the setting. I could get with the setting, the gameplay I could get
yeah,
with too. Um, but yeah, Baldur's Gate. No, and like also, if you've been gaming as long as like we all have around here, like at least like I would say 7 years, you know what games you like. I think like if you've been gaming at least like 10 years, you know what games you like. You know, you can tell a good game from a bad game. You can tell if a game is good, but you just you're not into it as much. Um, but I wish I could play Baldur's Gate 3. I wish I could, but man, the setting, I just can't. I just can't handle it.
what
Um,
what did you feel about the discourse online? Because people were saying RE4 shouldn't have been up there because it was a remake of a game that came out like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, for me, I think Final Fantasy should have made it. That's my game of the year. That's like my game of the generation. I
Right.
still think that should have made it, but especially in a year like this where we had so many like bangers this year, you
Yeah.
can't put a remake. You can't like you just. I think you should. I think you can't put a remake in there.
I
If like
agree.
20, I think RE2 was nominated, but like 2019 was a quieter year. I think when it was nominated than 2023.
Yeah.
Um, because we had like there was multiple stuffs like Lies of P or Hogwarts or um some other games that were snuffed. So I don't think RE4 should have been nominated either.
Yeah, I think if anything, Armored Core could have been up there. Final Fantasy 16 could have been up there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Hi-Fi Rush. You could have put that in there too. There's a few games that you could have put in there because it just sets the precedent that like you can just re-release a game that you made like 10 years ago and then you can bank on it to get game of the year. That's like me remaking Half-Life 1 and 2 and like both of them get nominated in here. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's not fair to like people that make like new sequels, new IPs to games.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me.
Like even though I loved RE4 remake, I didn't like the original RE4, and I love the remake. I should not have been nominated.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Were there any other categories that like um that stood out to
Best,
you?
best debut indie. No, not that one. Where is it? Where is it? They didn't have best indie on here. They
Best
only
indie was like Sea of
best
Stars was
indie.
best indie.
Best indie.
I've heard
Um.
like mixed things about Sea of Stars. I don't know. Like it's crazy because that game, like when it first came out, I saw like nothing but praise. But now I'm like looking at the discourse, it's like, oh, it's like okay, like it like it doesn't end very well. The characters aren't very bland. I'm just like, like this game, like people just turn around on this game like in an instant. Like I don't know what went on with
Yeah.
that game. I still want to play it. I still will play it at some point. But it's just like, wow, like the discourse just switched overnight. It seems on that game.
Yeah. I'm looking at them right now. I know Cocoon's on Game Pass. It starts. I think it's on Game Pass too.
Yeah, it was on PS Plus too.
Yeah, I never played any of these. This might be the first year where I never played any of these indie games.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't
So,
played any of these either.
actually, I did play the demo Sea of Stars. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like really picky when it comes to like turn-based stuff. I don't like having to read like dialogue and stuff like that. Like having to have to press the button constantly and stuff.
Mm.
I'm like I like the cutscenes and all that stuff in my games. So like I'm probably never gonna get around to playing the game. But the combat is like cute, kind of adorable. For like one of those like what is it like 16-bit or 8-bit?
It's
Sorry,
I think it looks 16.
16.
I
Yeah.
think it looks 16. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's
looks
cool.
good.
I mean, it's good that they won it. It made a lot of sense that it was getting a lot of clout this year.
Yeah, I got like a 92 or something on Meta. I was like, damn, I got
Yeah.
a really high score. And just a random fact about Sea Stars, they removed the completionist from the game of that whole controversy that happened. I don't know if you've been following that. The
No,
whole
no.
completionist. So pretty much the completionist had like a so long story short, he had a fund that was going to go to dementia research, but the investigation found that the money was never donated. It was just sitting there, and only after the investigation came out, he donated the money. So after like 5-6 years of just sitting
Wow.
and doing nothing. So there was a NPC in Sea of Stars with the completionist in it, and then they removed him from the game following this whole controversy. I was like, damn.
That's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, and I actually wanted to talk about the best multiplayer category, bro.
Mm.
How look? I'm a multiplayer guy. You know, I love my multiplayer games, Battlefield, Call of Duty, all that sweet stuff. Man, multiplayer is down bad this generation. If we get in Baldur's Gate 3 winning that category, dog, like what we doing? What we doing, bro? Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals?
Party
Are you serious?
animals.
Come on, son. Like my daughter loves the game, but like my God, like Street Fighter 6. Well, Street Fighter 6 is fine. Like that's a competitor game, bro. Super Mario Bros. Wonder? Are you kidding me? Like
Crazy.
this was a terrible list. Like this was awful. Like I could have sworn there was a multiplayer. Like, well, I know finals. I think if the finals would have came out a little bit before, it definitely would have made this list. Because
And
I swear,
COD, yeah, COD didn't get nominated, which
yeah,
is
COD
sad.
didn't get nominated, which is I mean, well, honestly, it's a garbage game, but I mean,
Yeah, man.
still, I feel like
Yeah,
it could have
I
been
still play
nominated
it.
at least.
I played it. I mean,
Yeah,
I just got it yesterday, and I'm still playing it.
yeah. I'm playing it as well. It's They got me. They got me.
They got me
I'm
too.
part of the problem.
That discount though, that was that discount. It's
Yeah,
$60 is fine, but not like
yeah,
80, not $90.
yeah.
That's a big one to ask.
Um, yeah. This was like the biggest. This was like one of the bigger categories that like was like, yo, what the hell? I mean, I guess right here it says they include co-op, but I mean, when I think of multiplayer, I just think of like massive multiplayer games, not like
Yeah, like
Party
shooters or
Animals
like
and
MMOs
Baldur's
or
Gate.
something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. They
got a
gotta
lot.
that I ended with this Jeff Keighley, if you're by chance listening, I doubt it, but
Hey, please wrap it up, all right? Please wrap it up.
wrap it up.
uh,
Playing the freaking Titanic music. But look, man, you gotta refine the categories a little bit, man. I feel like some of these don't need to be in here. Like, you don't need a best debut indie game and then a best independent game. Like, I feel like you're just trying to give everybody a participation trophy at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
you know, get these people to work hard, have one category. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they'll try again next time. It is what it is.
mm,
Yeah, they don't need all these categories that are like kind of similar to each other. So
mhm.
yeah, that's all I had to say.
Okay.
And by the way, there we go, we got it back. And
So you're good.
Cameron Monaghan should have won that award for best performance. I'm sorry,
Mm.
that's just me. But yeah, that's
For
it.
what game? For what game?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay.
I liked his performance in there.
Hmm.
Or even Yuri in Spider-Man. He had a great performance in
Yeah. Not now, MJ. I love that line.
there.
um, so we can talk about some of the game announcements just to wrap it up. So I'll just talk about the major ones. So we have Monster Hunter Wilds coming out 2025. That's what we ended the show with. There's a Kojima game called OD. This is the Xbox Cloud game he was talking about. He was on stage for like 5 minutes talking about the game. I have no idea what the game's about. I
Yeah.
hear cloud game, and I just don't care. The God of War DLC got revealed. It wasn't, again, this is another reason why I should not listen to insiders, because they said it was gonna be like this like Atreus and Kratos like story DLC or whatever, but it ended up being just a free roguelike mode. But I will say that there's been a lot of praise for this roguelike mode, enough that I will actually play it in the future. Just because I have other games that I need to play right now, which I'll get into later. It's good to see that a free DLC. It's crazy. This DLC is free, but Last of Us DLC is not free. Let's see if the roguelike. I mean, the roguelike one I assume will have no story in it, because how are you going to really follow up the story with Joel as a playable character? But
Yeah.
we also have the Blade game, and there was also some speculation about its exclusivity, which we'll talk about later. Sega also announced like 5 new games, like including Jet Set Radio, Shinobi. Golden Axe to me looked like Godfall. I literally thought it was Godfall when it was first shown. I was like, why does it look so like it looks exactly like Godfall to me? Streets of Rage and Crazy Taxi have like all these revitalizations. It's good to see that they're just again digging into their classic IPs and drawing them back for a wider audience. Finals is being available now. Some No Man's Sky DLC. The best announcement of the show for me, Final Fantasy DLC, 16 DLC. Echoes of the Fall was incredible, and I can't wait for the Rising Tide to come out. We also have Rise of the Ronin getting a March 2022 release date. Skull and Bones also got a release date, but again, if they act like a dozen release dates or whatever, let's hold our horses. Let's hold our ships at the port to see if this game will actually be released before we set sail on Skull and Bones. There's like a Dragon Ball Z game, Sparkling Zero. But people are hyped about that. Moon Studios announced a game for the first time on PlayStation, called No Rest for the Wicked. BioWare, like some former BioWare developers, revealed a new RPG. Dead by Daylight spinoff. Some Jurassic Park survival game. Visions of Mana by Square Enix was revealed. Hellblade 2 game, which we'll talk about this. Hellblade 2 gameplay trailer was revealed. What else do we have here? Joseph Fares announced the Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake. It's very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Black Myth Wukong has a release date of August 20th. That game looks fucking good. I mean, again, this is like the first like project of the whole Chinese initiative that the PlayStation's doing. So I will hold back on this game because I want to see if this game is legit or just like a vertical slice. Okay, so he said he's back in 7 minutes. Any other announcements? As Dust Falls is coming to PS4 and PS5. Anything else? Just looking through these announcements again. There was like a lot of announcements, but a lot of them like just did not do it for me. A lot of anime announcements, a lot of anime games, oddly enough, that were announced. Radio Now 1.0 was announced. I think that's out now. Anything else? And I think there was also stuff in the pre-show. There was I think all I know was Atlas showed off the Metaphor Refan Zeo game, which is still being marketed as Xbox exclusive, but it's not. It's a multi-plat. It's coming to all
Which
platforms. The
which one?
Metaphor Refan Zero game. That's from Atlas. It's like it's
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah.
I think they just have like some type of marketing deal with
Yeah, they only show the Xbox version.
yeah.
But it's a multi-plat.
Which
Oh
I
shit!
mean, that shouldn't be a problem, right? Because PlayStation does it all the time, right? Right?
Yeah, man.
Right. And I'm just
So that was all the major announcements that I could think of. So, what do you want to talk about first, Pablo? Do you want to talk about the Hellblade? The Blade? You know, what are we talking about first? The God of War?
Yeah, we can. Actually, yeah. Nah, you know what? Let's get into the God of War stuff, bro. Why are they relegating their studios, dropping roguelike modes? Like, where are the games? What's going on? Like, for the players, for the players we wait. Like, what's going on?
Look, like this goes back to the whole service thing. It's I blame multiplayer games. What I will say though is, at first I was like, why are they doing this? Like I was like, why are they doing this? But then I realized I was like, wait, my biggest issue with Sony games is the pacing. Is I want to play as Atreus for the millionth time. The worst part of God of War Ragnarok. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, these roguelike modes are the perfect fix to that because I don't have to worry about anybody coming in the way of my gameplay. And because it's a roguelike mode, it'll always change every time. So, like, it kind of to me is like a great middle ground if they want to keep doing this roguelike thing. Sorry, if they want to keep doing this stupid pacing of their stories, drop a roguelike mode like with it. So like it gives people that just want you to play your game for the gameplay, give them a way to still enjoy your game. Um, I'm glad it's free. Like, and I see that you get the OG Kratos skin if you beat it. I will definitely do it. I will definitely play it soon. That I will definitely do that because that'd be fucking sick. Um, but yeah, like I just hope this isn't a trend because, like you said, like it would just be a. I want games. I don't want modes for all the games I already played.
I mean, yeah, like I I was like I preferred the direction they were going in when they did the like director's cut type of content with like Death Stranding and like Ghost of Tsushima. Like that's a little bit more substantial than just like dropping like a little mode, that you just kill a bunch of enemies over and over again. But at least with the Last of Us Part Two remaster or whatever they're calling it, at least they're gonna have like some uncut levels that that they're gonna put in the game with like so I think some new cutscenes and stuff. Just to get some you know different perspective on the game and everything. But I mean, even then, it's like I'd rather them just put those resources, even if it's really not that much of work for them to do. Like I'd rather them just work on a new game. But
Mm.
that's just me.
And also, this
Um,
this this dropped a year after God of War Ragnarok too. Something to keep in mind as well. It dropped you only a year later.
was
Versus
it
Last of Us was 4 years later.
that? Yeah, that is true. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's good for people that that still play the game and have it installed on their console, and they want to go back and like mess around with some of the stuff on there. But I mean, it didn't really do anything for me. I rarely even play DLC expansion content unless it's just something like absolutely insane. But that's just me. But
Mm.
yeah,
Are you gonna play it? Do you think you're gonna try it?
it's free, right?
Yep.
It's free DLC.
Yep.
I mean, I think I'll give it a shot. I don't really like the roguelike type style of gameplay, so it's kind of hard to say. But if I'm like bored, I'll probably board it up sometime
Mm.
in the future. Yeah, but as of right now, no. Yeah, the Hellblade thing. People were talking about this because they said it didn't really seem like a substantial upgrade combat wise compared to the first game. Um, I kind of disagree. I get what people are saying. It looks like some of the animations are still like kind of similar to the first game. Just how it looks aesthetically, but I feel like, and I don't know if it's because the graphics got upgraded, but it seems like the combat is more visceral in the sense that like you can actually like just the graphics look more realistic. When you're cutting people up and everything. But I thought it looked good. I am disappointed that you know the gameplay didn't look more expanded. I don't know if it was the way the trailer was cut, but they really need to address that soon. I'm hoping the next month when they do that developer direct that they did last year, if they do one again, Hellblade needs to be front and center there because that's
Mm-hmm.
like the main question people have about this game is like, yo, is the combat expanded on like way better than the first game? If not, like then it's just gonna be like like a demo showcase, when it comes out. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. It looks incredible, but gameplay wise, it's like looks like it's left to be desired for more. That's just me.
Yeah, it's been like Hellblade came out
I think
2018.
Hellblade 2017, I think. Yeah, because I remember it came out after
2017, so it'll be 7 years
it
after.
came out after Lawbreakers flopped. Do you remember that game?
Bro.
Yeah, that's why I remember the year.
And Radical Heights as well. I remember that one.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a rough. Oh my god, I still watched that Kobe Cat video on Lawbreakers.
yeah.
Again, that was like a time when multiplayer was still like not very established, like at that time, and everyone's trying to copy Destiny. It's crazy. No, I think I'm very sussed about Hellblade. I'm not saying that just because of Xbox tax. I'm not saying that just because of that. Outside of that, I am still very skeptical. I just like you said, I just want show like an unfiltered, uncut level. Just show like a one level, show some combat, show like how things like how a player should approach like how they'll be interacting with the game, how the fighting begins, and how like just the different stages of the fight. It just if they're cutting that much in the trailer, I think they're hiding something. And I think it's not a coincidence that it's taken 7 years for them to make this game. There's something that is wrong with this game, and they're doing a very good job hiding it. And every trailer just leaves more to be desired. And no release date, that means that it might not even make it to like first quarter of 2024. It might be like maybe summer or like May, June.
It's a fall game.
Damn, fall?
If they're being like this, like under wraps about the game, like there has to be something wrong with the game, like you said. Bro, I feel like I saw more from the GTA 6 trailer than I did from like the last few trailers of Hellblade, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like it's pretty. Even like God of War. I think God of War Ragnarok. We were like, yo, where's the gameplay? But like, I think like I don't know. I don't know what they're hiding, and they have to show something at some point. Like they can't just like keep hiding it like this. I hope they have that. Like you said, I hope they have that developer direct in like February. I think last year they had in February for Bethesda or something, where they show like a couple of the games like that were coming out. I think that's when they shadow drop Hi-Fi Rush. I think they shadow dropped on that they had that direct or something in January.
In January?
For Bethesda.
Oh yeah, actually,
yeah, they had that at the time.
That'd be cool if they did something like that again next month.
Yeah. But man, Hellblade 2 just leaves more questions to be desired, and I hope they'll answer for us soon, or else this game is going to flop even harder. I don't think. Do you think it's gonna like, make any waves? I think people. I think you were. I don't know if you said or someone else was like, it'll be a 2024 Game of the Year nominee. Like, do you think it'll make that type of headway?
I mean, honestly, the story from the first game was really interesting, and that's what kind of like got the game out there to a lot of people. But I don't know. It depends. I don't think the game is really gonna sell that well. I mean, it might sell like maybe like 3 million at the most, within a year. I feel like, but it's kind of a niche game. And the way they're kind of like a Remedy in the sense that they make really intricate like type of narratives and stuff for their games, but like they're just not like on that level of like a Naughty Dog or like Insomniac in terms of like selling like hotcakes like to the casual audience and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. 2024 looks like it's going to be stacked. So I doubt it. I doubt it'll make Game of the Year.
And we can also talk about. Do you want to talk about the Kojima game? I mean, we didn't see much from it. It was just like a weird trailer, but
bro,
my
god!
I don't think much to say. No, so
I'm not gonna say the word, but let's just say everybody was kind of getting on their hands and knees for this one, for no apparent reason. But I mean, it's just like there's literally nothing you can decipher from this game. Like the only thing that was like mildly interesting was like when they the door opened in like the middle of the trailer or whatever. Like people were saying that it was kind of reminiscent to like the PT demo. and people are saying that like this might be like the game that he wanted to make when he was working on PT or whatever. So I mean that's like the only interesting aspect of it. Um, Besides that, I mean they have like some good actors in the game, but I mean this is nothing, man. So I can't do anything with this. What
Yeah.
did you think?
Same. Like I honestly was checking out because like at that point the show was kind of dragging a little bit, and it didn't grab me at all. And honestly I forgot that was revealed. Let's hopefully know more about it when the time comes. So do you want to talk about the Blade? This is a big one. I think it's probably the biggest announcement. I think this might be like besides for
Yeah,
me Final Fantasy, this was the big announcement of the show.
yeah.
That's definitely unexpected too. So we don't know much. All we know is like it's a third-person game developing by Arcane Studios. It's now in development, so they probably like just started. So it'll take a long time for the game to be, gameplay and all that stuff to be shown off. We're still ways away from that. And also, like we didn't know about this in the FTC leaks. It wasn't in those leaks, I believe. So this is like a brand new thing. So people are hesitant about the art style. I think the art style, I will agree, it is a little bit of an Xbox bias against Xbox. Now, would I have loved to see a Blade game like Wolverine, like the goriness and the big budget, and it matching that type of tone? Absolutely. But I'm open to other things. I know people dragging like saying Sifu's artwork is trash. I love Sifu. I love the artwork. I think I'm open to seeing what this game has to offer, and the art style I can definitely see it like being a benefit for Blade. So what did you think of the Blade announcement, Pablo?
Just the announcement itself, just based off like you know the recognition of the name Blade. Like I'm hyped. I've been wanting to see a Blade game for like a long time. Like not every game needs to be photorealistic. It's nice to have like a mixture of like different styles of art. Mixed into your games. I don't want every Marvel game to like look photorealistic. Uh, I'm excited because the team that's making this is Arcane Leon. It's not that trash team that made Redfall. Thank God. That game was awful. So this team, supposedly this is the A team. They made Dishonored and Deathloop.
Mm-hmm.
Deathloop was all right, but
I didn't play it.
Dishonored,
I wasn't interested. I never played.
yeah, it was the gameplay loop was good, but it's just they had you repetitively play on the same map over and over again, so it just kind of killed the patience of the game for me. But um, is the biggest takeaway for me was that it's a third person game. Um, they're more experienced with making first person content, with Dishonored and Deathloop. So like I'm wondering if they have a good handle or a good idea on like how they want Blade to like be moving around, through these levels. It's gonna be interesting to see like how they mess around with that. But I think they're gonna do a good job because the movement and the speed of how you move in Dishonored, especially Dishonored 2, because they refined it a lot compared to the first game. Like, bro, some of the clips you would see online of people like moving around with the abilities and stuff like that, it's gonna be man, it's slick, it's clean, and those games are like kind of brutal in themselves in and of themselves because they have blood. They don't have like gore like where you're like ripping people's guts out or nothing like that, but I mean there's blood in the game. You can blow people's like hands off when you shoot people up close and stuff like that. Like you can like slice people's throats and stuff. So I mean, it's gonna be a mature game because Dishonored was a mature game, Deathloop was a mature game. So I'm not worried about the art style affecting it in the sense that like, oh, it's gonna feel like kind of cartoony in terms of like gameplay or even from a narrative standpoint. So it's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this. I just hate like something I want to say like I know this is probably never gonna get fixed. But I just hate that these games are getting announced like too early. Like like we could have done without this trailer, especially if they just started development. if they just started development, this game is probably not coming out for like 2026, 2027.
Yeah,
Probably
apparently
like at
do
the
it.
end of the generation.
Apparently do it as like a hiring call, to like bring people in, to like
Yeah,
try to hire people and stuff to like people who are interested and want to work on the game can like come to the studio and help them work on it. But that's what they do with these type of things. But I
yeah,
agree. It's like wait, like Xbox, they do this like I guess Sony, like they both have opposite problems. Sony doesn't announce anything, but when they
yeah.
announce it, like it'll come in a reasonable time. Like Xbox, you know what's coming, but you don't know when it's coming. It's like
Yeah.
two pillars of the opposite of again two total opposites.
And
Because Amber
honestly, it was
Wild,
the other
we
way
don't know.
around too. Like,
Sorry.
honestly, it was the other way around too. At one point, it was just
Mm-hmm.
like Xbox was literally not announcing anything. Like,
Yeah,
we don't know what the hell they
yeah.
were doing.
Because Phil didn't want to announce anything too far out. I
Yeah.
remember that.
So
I
I
remember
mean,
that. Yeah, that's true. He didn't. He didn't. They didn't because Crackdown got killed for that because Crackdown was revealed like 2013, didn't come out like 4 or 5 years later,
yeah.
like 6 years later even. It was kind of crazy.
I mean, but like I don't mind them announcing it now for this game because the IP is known. Like we know what it is, and then when you attach it to like a studio, like this, like all right, you kind of get an idea of like okay, maybe I might know what this game plays like, and then you can kind of play with your imagination and like wonder like what the game will look like. But like when you announce a new IP, and this was a problem with the show, like when you announce a new IP and then you show a CG trailer, like I mean, how can I get hype off of that? Yeah, like it's a cool cinematic, somebody running around with like swords and shit. But like you can't do anything with that. Like these shows need to be kind of a little more self-contained, and I think it needs to be a little shorter. I know it's an award show, but it needs to be shorter in the sense that like, yo, like show some stuff that has something substantial added to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
when they showed the brothers remake, like that had like the gameplay in it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a CG trailer or anything like that. Mind you, we know how the game played because it came out before. But like I don't know, man. That's just something that's bothering me with these events and stuff like that. They're just showing stuff like just to show it. Like
Yeah.
that Monster Hunter WoW stuff. I'm there day one, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Monster Hunter and Gran Turismo are two games that I would love to get into, but I just don't feel compelled to. Like I would
yeah,
love like I tried World and like I tried to get into it, but I just couldn't do it. I want to. I wanted to. And I
yeah.
want to try someday, but I'm like I don't have it in me to try and get into it.
Love you, bro. Yeah,
Um,
it's not for everybody. It's kind of like a methodical game. It's weird because I like the world a lot, but when Rise came out, and I came out on Game Pass, and I have a Switch and everything, but it's just like I don't know. I played the demo, and then I was just like, I felt like it felt like different compared to World, like gameplay wise. I don't know if it was just the aesthetic of World that I like, but I might try to get into Rise again and try to get myself into it.
did you like Iceborne? Did you try that? Monster Hunter
Iceborne.
Iceborne? Yeah.
Actually, yeah, like I told you earlier, like bro, like when it comes to expansions, man, like I don't know, it's just like when they drop an expansion like months out and stuff like that, and like I'm already done with the game at that point, like from a single player perspective, like I have to go back and like remember like all the mechanics and all the stuff, like so it's like it's kind of like a turn off for me. Like it has to like drop like
Mhm.
relatively like soon,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, that with Final Fantasy, like I had to. It took me like a few. I think it took me a few hours to like remember the controls and stuff. It was okay because I had to do some side missions to get the DLC anyways. So it was good. I had that time to just relearn everything because by the time I got to DLC, like I was set. It was good. But it's hard because like do you drop it just after the game comes out when you could have delayed it and put that in the game already, or do you wait a bit to like maybe flesh it out a little bit more and then drop it after? It's a weird like it's a hard path to navigate. Um,
I feel you on that.
do we want to talk about the Sega games? Honestly, I'll be honest. My knowledge of Sega is shockingly poor. Like I would love. one thing I really want to do in my gaming lifetime is to like get into the Genesis games. I don't know why I have this perception that like Sega's games are more like arcade games on a home console in terms of like there's not really any endpoint and you're just going for a score and you're just like going as long as you want and then that's kind of it. Whereas like Nintendo is more like a traditional game, like beginning, middle, and end. I know it's probably not true. Like I'm gonna say that for sure, but someday I will try to get into Sega games. So I don't really have any attachment to Jet Set Radio or Shinobi or Golden Axe or Streets of Rage. I don't like. I realize I don't like 2D brawler games very much. So I don't really have any sort of attachment to these games. If they look good, I'll try them. But if they don't look good, then it doesn't move me either way. So, what are your thoughts on the 5 new games from Sega that are in development?
I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at all these. Yeah, Shinobi looks sick. Jet Set Radio looks insane. Streets of Rage looks crazy. Like I was like, I'm surprised they went with that like type of art style because the last one was pretty cool. That they dropped. It was more of like a like a 2D type side scroller. Like this one's like they're going more for like a 3D type of pseudo photo realistic look with it. Yeah, it looks amazing. Like I'm wondering, like, are they trying to like bundle this into like some type of collection, but with a new like fresh coat of painting on it? Because I mean they revealed all of it all in like one shot. So I'm wondering if this is gonna be like a collection that gets released in like one disc or something like that, or like one package. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. They do that. The Golden Axe game looked cool. I don't know what type of. I never heard of that game before, so I don't know what kind of game that's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
heard of it, but I just never like looked at any gameplay.
But yeah, Crazy Taxi look amazing too, man. My cousins used to play that when I was younger, so I'm definitely down to play that when it comes out. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite announcements of the show. That and the Blade one.
Yeah, definitely like the most surprising one, most surprising for sure.
Yeah.
So next one, my favorite announcement of the show was the Final Fantasy DLC. I beat Echoes of the Fallen last week when it came out. The game was honestly DLC was incredible. Again, all the naysayers on Twitter that were talking this game down. Why is no party control? Like when I was playing the DLC, it reminded me just how fucking awesome the game is. Like the combat's incredible, the music is fucking insane. The fight at the end, because they directly address the criticism of the game being too easy. Because that fight in the DLC was by far the hardest fight in the game. It took me a while to actually beat that fight. I was playing on hard mode and I was under leveled, but it was a really good challenge, and it just makes me even more excited for the Rising Tide DLC. And they said in an interview that they want to make it just one DLC, but they didn't want to make people wait too long, so they dropped the Echoes of the Fallen, and the next one will be a lot longer. And they also tease that the final fight could change as a result of stuff that happens in the DLC. Which, if they do that, that would be absolutely incredible. Like, and I can't wait for them to drop the Rising Tide. And I love what I played in Echoes of the Fallen, and I just can't wait for them to give me more of what I want for the DLC. And yeah, it was incredible. Final Fantasy was incredible. And there was another. Was there any other? Oh, and then Rise of the Ronin, getting a fall 2024. Sorry, not fall, March 2024. Look, to me, Team Ninja has making the same game since Neo. Neo 2 was the same as Neo 1. Strangers of Paradise looked the same as Neo 2. And then Wulong looks a bit different than Neo, but still has that same with DNA. And to me, Rise of the Ronin looks a bit like Wulong. I don't know, like they're just making the same type of game over and over and over again. I just I was Neo'd out so much I couldn't play Strangers of Paradise until now. So Rise of the Ronin, I think it'll be the same thing for me. I just won't be able to play day one. I'll probably have to wait like at least 2 years before I give it a shot.
Is that game like a Souls-like game too?
Yeah, but it's like
No.
it but they're trying to make it like a bit like more like okay, you can like stealth kill, or like kind of like Sekiro, where it's like okay, like, it is Souls, but like you can kind of stealth kill and do different things instead of just going pure to pure combat. But it still looks just like their other games, which is like my biggest problem is like if you think like Sony devs recycle their assets or like Yakuza recycles their assets, bro, like Team Ninja, their games play very, very, very similarly, which is fine, but it's like I can't have it like all the time. So also it comes out like 2 weeks, like 3 weeks after Final Fantasy. Like I'm like I'll be knee deep in that game, so I won't be playing anything for at least 2 months when Final Fantasy drops. So yeah. I'll be still here, Pablo, but I'm just gonna see if there's any other announcements that I can talk about before. We talked about Hellblade. Black Myth Wulong we already talked about a little bit.
What do you think about the No Man's Sky developer like new game Light No Fire? I thought it looked kind of cool. If it's gonna be like that, I'm like cautiously optimistic about the game. So we'll see.
Is it? It just seems like a sort of. Is this like a multiplayer game kind of thing?
Yeah, it seems like an open world online kind of co-op game.
I'm out.
Know, like you could do building, dragon riding, stuff like that.
I'm out.
You out? You out on that
Yeah,
one?
I'm out. I'm out on that. I'm out on that one.
All right, then, fair enough.
Yeah. Did what? I don't. Are you a Dragon Ball fan? I'm not sure. Like, did the Dragon Ball trailer do anything for you?
Yeah, I forgot about that game. Bro, that did everything for me. Actually, I take back what I said about the Blade thing. This was my favorite announcement. I forgot that this was announced here. Yeah, man, this was sick. I don't like that it got named to like Sparking Zero. Like, I don't really get the point of like calling it that. I feel like I mean, there's nothing wrong with attaching it to Budokai Tenkaichi unless it means like something terrible in Japan or whatever. But Budokai, iconic name, iconic series. I mean, it's still a proper Budokai Tenkaichi game, so I mean, we don't have anything to worry about in that sense. So they just changed the title for whatever reason. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. Um, it's gonna be nice to see like all the new characters because it's been a while since we got a Budokai Tenkaichi game, so we'll see like a bunch of new characters in the game and everything like that. I'm hyped. Did they get a release date or no? I don't even know.
I don't think so. Let me see. Where is it? I don't think so.
Actually, no, it didn't.
It just says wish list.
Yeah, so damn, that's a little spooky, low key. I mean, it did get we did get a teaser trailer for it like earlier this year, like I think around January or February or something like that. So maybe it still could be 2 years out, probably. So we'll see.
What'd you think about Black Myth Wukong?
Yeah, bro, that's yeah, I'm good on that, Brody. That's a Souls game too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm good, dog. I'm good, dog. Look, man, I don't like getting killed. Look, I'm a journalist mode gamer, bro. Give me a game, put it on easy. Look, man, like I can't. Yo, I got a kid, I got a whole family. I don't got time to be playing like these smart games where I'm like dying 50 times in a row, man. I'm good, bro.
Damn.
Unless it has co-op on it, then I'm good.
Damn. Fair enough.
Actually, this game was pretty cool from the Bioware veterans. I actually forgot that they showed like some snippets of gameplay towards the end of it. It pretty much looks like what like Andromeda like should have looked like when it came out instead of the garbage we got.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be like playing a lot of strings from Mass Effect. Yeah. Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
And then there was one other thing. Yo, the Jurassic Park game looked kind of cool, bro. I mean, they showed like some snippets of gameplay for that too. That looked pretty dope too. It looks like it's gonna be like kind of like similar to vein to what's that game called? Alien Isolation.
Oh wow!
That game was dope.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting take on the Jurassic Park franchise because I just feel like up to now it's just been like lots of like Ark Survival and like Jurassic or World Evolution, like these like just like builder type games. So it'll be interesting just to see like what direction they take with it. I mean the trailer looks good so far. So I wonder if I wonder what they're gonna go with, if they're gonna maintain the direction or they're just gonna try something different that we don't know about yet.
See, like, look, Priscilla in the chat, she said, like, agree, Souls games, I don't like to die all day. Bro, we don't got that,
bro,
right?
they're not that hard, bro. Come on, they're not that hard. Bro.
Like, it's just too much, man.
Bro,
like,
they got magic and dark, just use magic. Just use summons, you're good.
Actually, you know, I might do that, bro, because I saw somebody do a magic only build, and like, yo, he just breezed through the game.
Yeah, just do magic.
Do that.
You know, that's your easy mode.
I don't Rise of the Ronin, you're just using swords all the time. I don't think they have like a magic type, you know. Maybe.
You can play Elden Ring.
Elden Ring? I actually have that game.
You want to watch fish?
Yeah.
What did you think of Visions of Mana? I played like the demo for like Trials of Mana. It was alright and stuff. I mean, this looked pretty cool, but I don't know. Maybe I might get it, you know, like when it's discounted or something. I'm not really a big fan of the game.
I want to play Secret of Mana one day, but it's like I feel like the Mana games again. I never played any of them. I'm just going off of my intuition. I gotta preface that before I say it. Dragon Quest XI was a very generic game to me, like, and I could not get through it. It's just like something about a generic JRPG that I just like cannot bring myself to play. And the Mana games just look like something I just would not be into. It just looks like something I just would not be into.
Chronicles?
What's funny, I beat Xenoblade 2. I beat that game. I didn't like the ending though, because the ending was kind of it was fucking hilarious. What they did with the ending of Xenoblade 2. Because I thought they would go one way, and they just completely just subverted my expectations. They just did a whole redo, which is kind of weird. I do want to play Xenoblade 3 because I heard that was pretty good, but even Xenoblade doesn't feel generic to me. But I think the Visions of Mana looks kind of generic, for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the art style. Maybe it's just like too whimsical or too bright. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it, though. I mean, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I think. Do you think it's something you're gonna get like soon, or do you think you're gonna wait to see more?
The Mana game, yes. Actually, I was looking at the trailer just now. Honestly, depending on when it comes out, you know, I could probably get it day one. It looks fun. It seems like it's gonna be like an action RPG, not like a turn based game. So, I'm there for it. I don't really like turn based that much. So.
Yeah, you don't like turn based. You don't like Souls. Damn, you don't like turn based. You don't like Souls. What do you like, Pablo? What do you like, bro?
It's on Game Pass, baby.
you don't like horror games? Do you like horror games either?
No, I do love horror games. Bro. It's just like I don't know. I got some bad memories with that one, bro. But yeah, man.
Jeez.
Space Marine 2, September 9th, 2024 release date. That's good. I'm excited for that one, man. That looks pretty good. I think Saber Interactive is doing that too as well. They got a lot on their plate coming up, so yeah, that looks pretty good. Mecha Break looks dope. I'm there day one, baby. I think it's a multiplayer mech sci-fi game. I'm there day one, baby. I've been wanting a game like this. Yeah, bro.
Oh, fuck. This is single player. It looks so fucking hype. This looks sick.
Honestly, like that Gundam game that they dropped on Steam was like pretty cool, but it's just like the way they design like some of the characters you use and stuff is like kind of like unfair in the game. So I'm hoping that this supersedes that, because this has like the graphics and the gameplay, you know, mechanics on it. So we'll see.
Yeah, this looks pretty sick.
I think Blaze would like a game like this. I don't know, because he likes Armored Core, so yeah, we'll see. And I think that game has PvP combat too. So
Damn, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, Battle Royale. Damn, that's pretty sick. I'll definitely keep an eye on this game too. Yeah. Try to see if there's anything else that caught my eye that I remember. Oh, the first Berserker looks kind of cool. It's again another Souls game, but looks good so far. I'll definitely keep an eye on that one too.
Yeah, everything was kind of got made.
Yeah. So overall, like honestly, the announcements weren't too bad. Like, it's obviously the show felt very dragged on, but when like looking at the announcements like on the list, like it wasn't too bad. Obviously, a lot of filler, but I think there was enough games that they showed to like make up for that. Now that I'm looking back on these announcements.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, kind of looking back, there's some decent announcements here, but I don't know. They could have thrown this up on Twitter, low key.
Low key.
That little video and throw it up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we want to? So, if there's do you have any other like comments or anything, last words for the Game Awards before we close the show with our end of the year lists?
No, I'm pretty good. Pretty good on it. Yeah.
Okay. So, final topic. We're just going since the end of the year. We're just going to go over our games beat list and also like go over stuff like Game of the Year. Most like the most disappointing game, worst game of the year, biggest surprise, stuff like that. I don't know if Red Hood has his list. I'm sorry, I don't know if Flu Hood has his list because I was gonna read it out for him because he can't talk. But Pablo, do you want to go first, or should I go first with my list?
Yeah, I'll go first real quick. Let me see. I have it on my Twitter actually, so that I can keep track of it. So let's go, baby. Game number 1. These are the games we beat, right? End of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So game number 1, Crisis Core Reunion, baby. Yo, hey man, this is a game I've been wanting to beat ever since I played it on PSP. I dropped it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was young, stupid, arrogant. And then we found out that it was getting like remade, and I was like, yeah, I definitely got to jump on this. Great combat, great redesign of the graphics. I didn't like the lottery system. I thought that would have been like improved, but I thought it was a little weird. But yeah, game number 2, Hi-Fi Rush. Art style was cool. Dead Space 3, Forspoken, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Last of Us Part 1, Dead Island 2, Trek to Yomi. I did a classic throwback with this one. No More Heroes, No More Heroes 3, Vanquish, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, and that's pretty much it. That's like 15 games, I played through this year.
Damn.
Yeah.
15.
Pretty much one for every month almost. Well, a little bit over. Yeah, 15.
What's your game of the year?
Damn, man. Honestly, if I had to say, looking at these list of games I played, probably Spider-Man 2. It would have been Jedi Survivor, but the game had a lot of issues at launch, so I can't give it to that game.
Okay. How about like the worst game you played?
The worst game I played on this list? Damn. Usually if a game is so bad, like, I don't even finish it, but in this game, it's probably going to be Alan Wake 2.
Damn.
I don't know. Like, I just wasn't invested in the characters. Like, I don't know. I felt like confused about everything that was going on. I just felt like some of the expositions in some of the scenes were like just them like saying like random stuff. I felt like every narrative point in the story didn't really matter. Like it's just by the end of it, it was just like, all right, it's just a bunch of compiled scenes like with something to do like in between, like gameplay wise. It just felt like more methodical than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be like really similar to like RE4 or like just the Resident Evil games in the sense that like, all right, you got the combat and stuff. You're gonna have like different weapons to mess around with, but it just felt like too methodical, man. It's just the game felt like more of a slideshow, if anything.
Mhm.
So I was like kind of a little disappointed with that. But graphically, probably one of the best games this year, up there with Spider-Man 2. You know, games like that. So yeah.
How about like your most surprising game? Like, what was a game that like you came in, you don't expect much, and it kind of just like blew you away
Um,
in a good or a bad way?
Surprising, low key. Man, honestly, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Mm.
I know that came out 2021, but like when I played it, I was like, damn, they actually like refined a lot of cool stuff in the game, and then the whole like changing through like different portals and everything like that was like kind of cool. That surprised me. It was either gonna be this or like Hi-Fi Rush because that literally was a surprise game. Like nobody
Mhm.
knew that game was gonna come out, prior. But yeah, probably Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything? Is there anything else you want to add about your list before I read mine?
No, not really. Go ahead, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So I think I've beaten the most games on this podcast. I've beaten 32 games. If you don't count Phantom Liberty, I beat 31. So we're gonna start here. So first game I beat, so it's in order. So Judgment, beat that on PS5. Cyber Shadow on my Steam Deck. I beat River City Girls. I beat Lost Judgment. Then I beat Elden Ring. Then I beat Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stones, the Fire Emblem game on the Game Boy Advance. I beat Sifu, Demon Souls, Gris, Dark Souls Remastered, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Remake on PC, Live Alive, Returnal on PC, Mega Man's 1 and 2. The Zelda Link Between Worlds, Final Fantasy 16 on hard mode, Spider-Man 2, Cyberpunk 2077, and also beat Phantom Liberty. I beat Sonic Frontiers and the Final Horizon DLC. Bastion, Dead Space Remake, Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian, and Dead Space 2 on PC. So total that's like 30 to 32 games. Game of the year for me is obviously Final Fantasy 16. Like, I don't know. I think people like really shit on that game, and I don't know why. Because through and through, to me, it just screams quality from the story to the characters to the voice acting was incredible. The gameplay was also incredible. Even like the side missions, yes, like the actual gameplay of side missions wasn't very good, but the stories that each of the side missions had and fleshing out the worlds that you are traveling through was amazing. I also really liked. I also like yes, the gear wasn't the best either, but again, like I think they made the gear not the best just to not get in the way of the combat and trying to make not to limit the player's freedom and how they want to approach the combat. The icon fights were incredible. I don't care what anybody says. Each one was absolutely mind blowing, and I go back when I played those. I go back to the Forbidden West. There's a sequence in Forbidden West base game where it was clear that the PS4 was holding them back with what they wanted to do for that section, and I felt like for 16, and if you compare the Titan fight to 15, it's a night and day difference. Um, so that's my game of the year for sure. I think like most surprising game is either Live Alive. No, I actually have a lot of surprises. Live Alive for one, that game should have been what Octopath was. That game is an example of how you can actually tell different stories that are interesting. I don't want to know about some stupid cleric or some stupid healer or some stupid thief that every time like this is Octopath 1 reference. Every time the thief tries to steal something, he always gets caught. The greatest thief in the world. So stupid. Live Alive is like, okay, a Shifu is trying to train 3 people to be his next in line, or a guy that can read people's minds and then controls a giant mech to fight another Godzilla like villain. Like those types of things are not not present in Octopath that should be there. And then also Shadow of the Colossus was incredible. Even though it's a PS2 game, I played on PS5 the remake. That game was absolutely incredible, and bro, I almost cried at a certain part of the game. That ending was also absolutely incredible. But worst game I played, it's either oh sorry, another surprise. Pablo, you say you haven't have you played Phantom Liberty yet?
Phantom Liberty? No.
Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you, Phantom Liberty is probably the best DLC I've ever played, and by far, absolutely redeems Cyberpunk base game because that base game was like a 7 to me. But I'm telling you, that Phantom Liberty DLC, I became a believer. Um, Man, like every side mission had an amazing like different choices. Every main mission, there's a part where you have to like infiltrate a party, and you have to like try to win over two of the guests. You can try to like steal their likeness and stuff. Like that was just like so sick. They really went all the way with the spy thriller aspect, and of course Idris Elba was the star of the show. Um, like for the base game, I didn't care what the ending was. I just did whatever. In Phantom Liberty, I actually like looked at every ending after I beat the game to see what ending I had. I technically had the worst ending, but I think my ending is still the best ending of the DLC. And whatchamacallit. So that was also a surprise. But the worst game, there's also a debate in my head. Sonic Frontiers Final Horizon DLC. Specifically, the final act was probably the worst final boss I've ever played in my life. Not because it was cheap, not because it was hard. It was hard, but it was hard because the game doesn't tell you what to do, and they introduce mechanics to the game um, that was not in the base game, and they expect you to figure out on the fly. So, for example, like in the base game, to dodge, you just hold the trigger, right? It's fine. But in the DLC, they introduce a boss rush mode. We have to fight the first three bosses in a row, and the only way you can counter their attack is to do a perfect dodge. That's the only way you can do it. So if you and it's also on a timer too. So like those three things together, it's just a bad time. And the final boss too, there's so many different things that happen that they don't tell you what to do and they don't give you any information. And so if you die, you gotta like go right all the way back to the boss rush section. Like it is horrible. It was oh my god, it was so bad. It was horrible. But like playing as the different characters was really fun. And also Dark Souls Remastered was horrible. That game did not age well. I don't care what anybody says. The fact that there's no fast travel, people say, yeah, no fast travel is great because it's like you can be immersed in the world. No. There is a part in Dark Souls 1 where I went all the way down to the bottom of this pit and I go and I was in complete darkness and I went all the way to the end and they told me you can't go through this door because you didn't beat this certain boss. And I had to go all the way back up top without fast travel. And let me tell you, that was horrible. And I still somehow beat the game. But yeah, Dark Souls 1 did not age well at all. Demon Souls to me was better than Dark Souls 1. Demon Souls is definitely more enjoyable, but a lot easier too.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, it was pretty rough. Dark Souls 1 is horrible. But yeah, like that's my list. Like 30, 32 games I beat this year. Overall, really good year. Next year, I'm going to try to beat every Final Fantasy game. And we can go into some of the games we're playing as like a last topic to close out the show. So, like, what games have you been playing, Pablo?
Right now, I've been kind of dry with my game towards the end of the year, but I've been playing RoboCop. It's a decent game. Shout out to Budge. He gifted it to me. I'm about to beat it soon. So I've been playing that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, garbage game, but they got me. They duped me once again. Playing that. Probably after I beat RoboCop, I might get into that like a dragon game, but I'm not too sure, man. Like it's one of those things where it's kind of like One Piece, like where like you want to watch it and stuff, but like you feel like you gotta catch up to all the games and all that stuff, all the episodes. So like I kind of like feel like the same way with that game, so I might just skip that actually. But yeah, just RoboCop right now.
Okay. I've just been playing Final Fantasy X. I think I'm near the end. I'm pretty much just before the final boss. I've just been grinding the whole game. That game is very mid, peak mid, in my opinion. None of the characters, I think only three characters I really care for, like Yuna, Titus, and Auron, probably. Um, the game has really weird pacing. Like for the majority of the game, you won't fight any bosses, and then all of a sudden the game will drop boss after boss on you in succession, and you kind of can't get out of it because like the game doesn't really give you a chance to. Um, I don't like the grid system, the sphere grid system, because if you choose a wrong pathway, you have to do a lot of work to go all the way back to the opposite way. And I'm just starting to grind. I've been grinding the levels and the spheres and stuff. Um, and I do like the sort of overall theme of the game and how they're choosing to do the Final Fantasy thing for this game. But none of the characters are not very captivating at all to me. And like there's a part where like Yuna's voice, I know Yuna's voice would have been perfect for this one part, but the delivery was not the best. So like that definitely holds it back. But yeah, like I'm excited. I'm excited to beat it. Finally, I'm hoping I can beat it soon, and then I can play part 2 of Final Fantasy X, and then move on to something else that I'll be more happy with. And I also play Modern Warfare 3. I was on a 22 gun streak. I was sad that I was off my Moab, but it's okay. You know, we still keep going. Yo, I Pablo. Have you played on Meat, the map Meat yet?
Me, hey yo,
Hey yo, Big Meat,
yeah, I think I did one time. Yeah.
bro. So when the free weekend happened, it was a mosh pit of 66, but it was bugged. It was 12v12. So bro, there was a TDM on Meat 12v12, bro. That game ended like 2 minutes. It was wild. You would shoot, die, shoot, die, shoot, die. It was crazy. It was like absolutely. It was like shipment 12v12. Like it's hectic. It was
Bro, the
wild.
spawns in that game is terrible, man. They
It's
gotta
crazy.
fix that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like overall great year. Hopefully being more games next year. And yeah, like it was a pretty good year in gaming, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Is there
Still need to play
any?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you gotta play. You gotta play that. You gotta play that.
Yeah.
It's not turn based and it's not Souls, so
Yeah.
I think you'll love it.
It's up my alley.
Yeah.
That story though might be a different story. You might have to
Incredible.
skip those cutscenes, baby.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, like, are there any closing remarks before we close out the show that you have?
No. I just want to tell everybody, watching right now. You know, it's December 19th. We're getting close to Christmas in a few days, man. I hope you guys have a good holiday with your family. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy Christmas itself. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of your year. Hope you guys have some good goals next year that you want to accomplish. I know I do. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, hopefully everyone has a happy holidays, happy Merry Christmas. And yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys the holidays before we get next year.
Yeah.
Shout
out Red Hood,
want to say,
letting us
yeah,
do
shout out Blue Hood. Hopefully he's feeling better. Shout out to Big Cloud for hosting us. And I know hopefully I did a decent job being the host tonight. Having feeling for Red Hood away anytime he's sick. I always look out for my boys. So hopefully I did a good job in his shoes tonight. Yeah, it was a really great show. Again, I'm glad that we were able to sort of recap this year, and the Insomniac thing happened just yesterday, so it was a good timing for us to kind of talk about that a little bit. Yeah, hopefully everyone has a great night, and I guess we do our outro. So Pablo, where can they find you?
Yo, yeah, if you guys want to interact with me, hit me up on Twitter, Harlem X Poncho, on Twitter. I might start doing streams again. Towards like the late night. If you guys are any night owls in there, you guys can follow me on Kick, Pablo the Third, And yeah, follow me on there. Might stream a few games. See what we can do. Try to get my name out there.
Awesome. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Ali_9201. I'd love to start streaming again too, but honestly, like I don't want to make that promise. Because yeah, it's just fun. I like sharing when I work that for a little bit. Now that my job's a bit more secure, I can hopefully find a way to make a little bit more time for that. Let's see if we can get Red Hood to do a cameo before we close out the show. Red Hood, anything you want to say to the people?
Oh man. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Awesome. Appreciate the little cameo. Gotta give the people what they need. We need the people to hear your voice.
The end credits. She was the end credits for the show here.
Yo, they did not hear that? Damn, y'all missed that. Damn, I'm sorry, y'all. And right Hood's voice.
All right, guys.
Look, he's doing it for. That's how much he loves y'all.
The
right?
cameo.
That's how much he loves y'all.
All right, so appreciate people for pulling through. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate, like I said, the new host temporarily, Alish, and Pablo, the co-host, for holding it down. I heard some of it. I had to step away. Like I said, you guys probably hear in the sound of my voice, I don't feel the best. Getting, through this cold, so to speak. I won't tell you how I got this cold. Just know, it wasn't on accident. That's all.
God damn it! God damn it! Why you like this?
But like I said,
he liked the flagpole. All right, that's how we got sick. Right?
Exactly.
His tongue got stuck on a flagpole. That's how we got
sick.
Right?
But hopefully everybody enjoys the holiday, Christmas, like whatever people celebrate, whatever you guys celebrate. Hopefully you guys have a great time with your family and New Year's Eve, so to speak. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, make sure to support Big Cloud, make sure to support everybody else. Yeah, we're going to try to do this more often. It's just life got in the way, as well as, I knew we had to do an episode before the New Year. So even though I was sick, I was like, we need to get an episode out regardless. So yeah, I'm trying not to talk as much because I'm already about to cough, but I appreciate everybody here.
Awesome. Appreciate the message to the people, Red Hood. The people love to hear your voice whenever they can. So appreciate that you can give that to them despite your status of your voice. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. It was a great conversation. It's a great recap of the year, and hopefully everyone has a great Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. So, signing out.
Happy Holidays, guys. Peace.
Take it easy.